here looking at what I want to talk about, I said I might as well just go live and just do a hot topics trending topics. There's a lot going on, like always. Allow me a few moments to get into my system to do my disclaimer. We're going to talk Nancy Guthrie. We're going to talk Blad sending out a post, but then he's saying he's trolling. He's wanting to bring up the Tory Lane Megan situation again. Why? Why all of a sudden is Glad doing what he's doing? But we're going to get into Nancy. We're going to get into Savannah Guthrie. She sent out a message again this weekend. So when I do that, people start coming in. They're trying to figure out what I'm saying. So let me go ahead and hurry up and do my disclaimer. Good morning, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. All comments are allegedly, period. Let me do my disclaimer. Like the videos you guys come in. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. Let me go ahead and play this as I'm doing it in the background. Hold on one second. Hold on.
I wanted to come on and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on. I wanted to come on and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on.
Next clip.
And say that we still have hope and we still believe. And I wanted to say that we still have hope.
Next clip.
To whoever has her or knows where she is. That it's never too late. To whoever has her or knows where she is. That it's never too late.
Next clip.
And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And you're not lost or alone.
Next clip.
We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
Next clip. Okay.
We believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late. We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being.
Okay, let me see. This may be general updates.
And the teacher pushed that button. Well, that sent an alarm. It immediately notified law enforcement all over the county.
Hold on one second.
Within minutes, an enormous police and medical response descended upon that school.
No, this is something else.
It was a dramatic and intense scene as the school was cleared.
Like the video. They're doing updates from a school. Okay, let's go update you guys on what's been happening over the last, let's do the last hour. Like the videos you guys come in.
The desperate search for Nancy Guthrie is now in week 3 as her daughter Savannah releases a new plea to her mother's suspected abductors.
I wanted to come on and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope. And we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And we believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
Ever wonder how Nectar can offer such an incredible deal for their adjustable bundle?
Like the video as the commercial goes past. Let's try to be kind, respectful. We don't know. This is somebody's mother. We have to try and stay hopeful. She had some health concerns, of course. We're wondering if she was able to take her medication with her due to the stress of it all, the surprise of it all, somebody coming into her home, no alerts to her family for hours. Me and my friends talked about it generally, but we wanted to enjoy the weekend. Many of us talked about she's an older woman, 84, living alone. Did the alarm system go off? Possibly not, because none of the neighbors said they heard the alarm system go off. The police didn't show up. The alarm system, what is it? Normally, when the alarm goes off, the first responders didn't show up. So you have to see in your mind and understand this woman, whatever happened, she realized her family didn't even notice she was gone for hours. That in itself is concerning. Me and my friends talked about that. If there was an alarm that went off because the neighbors are not saying they heard an alarm, then the police came after. Was the doors unlocked? I just listened to a news reporter, a possible ex police officer, talking about, where they live. Some of their family members don't lock their doors. Girl, what are you telling their business about? You know what I'm saying? Everyone should always lock their doors at night, during the day. You're not sitting outside. There's weirdos all day long, every day. People could just do weird stuff. But, many people are saying with her being 84. Now, mind you, this is the other thing too. It's being reported she went to her daughter's house, alleged by Uber Lyft, and then alleged the family members dropped her off. Alleged. But why do you have your 84-year-old mama taking an Uber or Lyft when that's a lot of strangers coming in and out of her neighborhood? Realizing she's 84, taking an Uber or Lyft, that means she don't live with nobody? That means people are having her take an Uber Lyft? That's more strangers coming by her, near her. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have no 84-year-old mama taking no Uber Lyft. A caregiver should be driving to the daughter's house, dropping her off to the daughter's house, and then coming back to the home, getting her pajamas ready, whatever. A caregiver should be driving. Strangers should not be picking up an 84-year-old woman. Oh, you live alone? I'm taking you to your daughter's? They ask questions. But no Uber Lyft should not be constantly picking her up, dropping her off when she needs to go somewhere. If the daughter lives 10 minutes away, less than 15 minutes away, the daughter should be helping. Get the mom, take the mom, pick the mom up, or the caregiver. But it should not be no Uber Lyft. That's so we're concerned about the alarm. We're concerned about the doors being locked. We're concerned about her possibly taking Uber Lyft places. Then the Uber Lyft knows the possible how she gets in and out. Because remember, when the first reports came out of her being dropped off, it alleged that it took about 2 minutes for the garage door to go down. That's a lot of time. Anybody could be following or watching. It takes 2 minutes for that door to go down. So is someone pushing the garage door for her to get in? and then she's to push it when she gets in the house. I don't know. But let's continue. Let's continue. Prayers for her to be returned. It's a lot. A lot of people care. A lot of people care. There was a page that used in one day. People care. This is somebody's mama. You wouldn't want it to be kind. This is someone's mother. We want a safe return for her mother. It's so concerning of how, what, at 84, it's hard for her to defend herself. That's something we've been talking about. Prayers for Nancy for a safe return. Also, in regards to her age, she should definitely have some type of alert by her bed. Remember how we talked about that Friday? Remember how the life alert around Jeanette and a possible one by the dresser? Because if her Apple Watch is not near and it's getting charged, and maybe the Apple Watch was right by her getting charged, we don't know. Prayers for Nancy for a safe return. Let's get to the news. Prayers for Nancy. Something do smell fishy. Real talk. It does. Some smell fishy. Near Nancy's. Let's talk about this too. When it first happened, we normally see neighbors comb an area, right or wrong. Let's really talk today. Whenever there's like a missing situation, first off, the family didn't know for hours. Almost 9, 10, could be possibly more. Whenever there's a huge missing situation, neighbors lock in and they're walking the streets and they're calling, and there's more. That was now, I want to say week 1, there was a billboard that went up. So people got tips. There was a number. One of the guys last week was going around the neighborhood like a mile or 2 or 3. And he was like, well, where's a lot of the flyers of a missing person? Where's a lot of the flyers? Why am I not seeing? If this is her local, allege. Stuff probably came out, a lot of stuff didn't happen in week 1. A lot of stuff happened in week 2. But he was like, well, where's the flyers of the missing person? Why, if this is her CVS, and a lot of people may know her for coming here, where's the flyer for her being missing? And he walked that neighborhood, and he walked up a local outdoor mall or whatever. It's JR Investigates. He did a really good job walking the neighborhood. But he was kind of like, why don't we see a lot of missing flyers? We did see a huge billboard go up there, though. And that may have been when the family's like, okay, we're getting local supplies from this store, that store, and where are the flyers? So that may be the reason why the family put the huge billboard up, where if you have tips, you can call that number. But many people are like, why wasn't there like the neighbors going out searching? Why was there more flyers up? Why wasn't the whole area taped off and stayed taped off? The whole area should have stayed taped up. There should not have been able to be a person. Let me just do a general update with y'all. There should not have been able to be a person walking up to that door trying to deliver pizza week 2. Why wasn't there shouldn't have been able to a person trying to deliver Amazon? All that should have been taped off. You should never be able to go that close to a crime scene, period. Even though they're saying they by week 2 they got a lot of their stuff that they needed anyway, but still, you should not be able to go that close to her home. Then 2, 3, they're talking about all these gloves. Allege. Are the search people dropping their gloves after they investigate certain things? Is that what all that's about? There's a lot of gloves that's been out there and been collected. One may possibly be tied to this situation, but there's been several gloves that's been caught near or by around her house. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Oh, that appears to match. We're wishing and praying for her to go home, safe return home, everyone. The suspects you see in that footage on her doorbell camera. And over the weekend, the FBI and alleged the sheriff went to a basketball game or some kind of event week 1 weekend. Why would you ban an event? You should be looking for this girl mama. Why was a sheriff? And I'm surprised the crowd didn't shout, "Find Nancy, find Nancy, why are you here? Find Nancy, why are you here?" Even though it's late at night, he deserves a life too. But that's valuable time that people could have be sending in tips, and you at a game. What's going on? Like the video. Let me continue with the news. Like the video. Executed a federal search warrant at the house
in the same neighborhood where Nancy went missing, resulting in 4 people being briefly detained and then released.
The search also leading investigators to seize a gray Range Rover that was taken in for evidence testing, and we are still awaiting a status update for what officials might have found inside that vehicle.
So this all comes as it has now been 11 days since the last press conference from local officials on the status of the search, and there is still
not a lot of press conferences. Some of the old past sheriffs or police department are saying, yes, maybe they shouldn't do too many press conferences because some of the information might be sending tips to the person that have her. So let's continue. Yeah, there's been like 4 people detained and 4 people released. Let's continue.
no suspects. So for the latest on the ground, let's go out to Matt Finn, who is live outside of Nancy's Tucson home. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning. Authorities say they have found at least 16 gloves in the area, but this one is
16 gloves. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. That's a lot of gloves. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
single glove could be a match to the one that masked suspect is wearing on the Nest Cam video. The DNA profile lifted
Good morning.
from that glove will be added to the CODIS national database for comparison. We could get results soon. Now, CODIS contains more than 19 million offender DNA profiles and has helped the FBI in more than 750,000 cases. And Fox News Digital reports that investigators are using a high-tech Bluetooth scanner on the bottom of low-lying helicopters to detect Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker signal.
Did y'all know that? Some of the old police departments didn't like that they were telling people that they were doing a Bluetooth scanner above with the helicopter. A lot of ex-police, good morning, a lot of ex-police didn't like that they told the world that. They said they should have kept that one in their pocket, because who's to say that the kidnappers might want to, take what did he say, a magnet, and do something weird or whatever. So yeah, some people want information, some people are saying no, keep that to yourselves. Let's continue for use reaction clip. Let's continue.
The helicopter flies low in grid-like patterns to try to pick up her signal. And in an interview with the Daily Mail, Pima County Sheriff Nanos is quoted talking about Google trying to recover new video from another camera on Nancy's property, saying, Google said at first we do not have anything, but we're going to do our best to try what they call scratch. It's hard. It's like scratching through layers. Think of it like you have 8 layers of paint on your house. I just hope they can scrape a camera shot down that driveway to identify a vehicle, because my goodness, you cannot put a mask on a vehicle, right? And we have some fresh drone video that shows you an angle of Nancy's house you may not be seeing too much. It's the back side of the home and the rear patio. You can see that blue door on your screen right now. That is the main back door with some glass window panes. If you look on your screen, you can see we don't see any immediate damage to any doors or windows in the rear. So that is our unofficial view. So far, the sheriff has not confirmed whether there was any, and that's the second blue door on the garage area, it seems. So far, the sheriff has not confirmed whether there was any forced entry and has not confirmed if the suspect used the front or back door or one of the many windows on the home. Back to you guys.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Over the weekend, came out more information about that gun holster and also about the gun. And they were saying, based on that information, investigators could cross-reference purchases, where that holster was bought, where the gun was bought, and hopefully these two items, they could link to one suspect. The gun holster, according to the Miami area police officer, this officer that was being interviewed, that was seen in the surveillance video, it's cheap, it's easily distinguishable, it's only available at a limited number of retail stores. The shape and other details align with a Strategy brand hip holster that is available at some Walmart stores for $10. And as of Saturday afternoon, the holster listed as in stock at 5 Walmart stores in that Tucson area. The gun appears to be a Walther semi-automatic or something similar, has a distinctive shape and a retention band, not considered popular. They don't expect investigators will find many purchases, which could be a good thing.
Yeah, they can use that AI technology to try to find someone. Let's bring in Fox and Friends weekend co-host Griff Jenkins. He's live outside of Nancy Guthrie's home. Griff, so they recovered some DNA that was inside of the house on the glove. At least one of the gloves was sent to the DNA testing, found 2 miles from the Guthrie home. They arrived at that Florida lab on Friday. The preliminary results showed that the DNA profile was an unknown male. That matches the description that we have thus far. And then that FBI database, also known as CODIS, will get officials of those results. What do you know now that you're on the ground? Have you gotten the opportunity to survey the field?
Good morning. Good morning.
Lawrence, let's start first with that glove and the DNA and that CODIS system, the combined DNA index system that Matt Finn talked about. More than 750,000 cases have been solved because of it. It played a key role, if you remember, in the Brian Koberger case. It took 47 days to get Brian Koberger, and it was that CODIS system that matched a Brian Koberger to his father, Michael Koberger, and relatives. That's how this works. When we get those results, that could give them a lead. Indeed. Now, when we get that, we don't know. As you mentioned, it's been 11 days since the last press conference. We got a lot of information up front, but Sheriff Nanos and the official...
Good morning. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate you more than you know. Thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the gifted. Sorry. Thank you for the gifted. Thank you.
Not giving us much. Hopefully we get that. But, I've only been on the ground 5 or 6 hours since I landed. And when I drove up here, Lawrence, it is unbelievable. You do not accidentally end up here. I had missed multiple turns using my GPS with the brights on my car. And you can see the Guthrie home behind me. But if you, Shane, just pan over here a little bit, you step just a foot or two off of just the driveway in the pitch black, and you can see you're in dense desert terrain. And, when we talk about that signal sniffer on the helicopter in the Pima County helicopter, I've been out here in Pima County and Pinal County riding around when we were pursuing cartel people, groups, drug runners here. This is where we're only 60 miles from the border, and they're using that FLIR radar, this area to find those 16 gloves, let alone this one that may be the DNA match. It's really quite significant. This is difficult terrain, no doubt. And that really, I know it's been talked about for the 16 days we've been covering this, but once you're on the ground, it's really a key factor. Now, let's go back to that glove. When we get light out here, we're going to go and walk along that area. Obviously, with 16 gloves, the majority, if not 15 of the 16, were perhaps the investigators who dropped them on the ground because they're trying not to affect the evidence. But no doubt, this is certainly one of the best leads they've got because, again, this is going to be solved through...
Yeah, we were hearing that there was supposed to be one in the house. Then they said that wasn't true. There was no glove in the house because, they would have gathered that day 1, day 2. You know what I mean? And or the family would have said, we found a glove in the house day 1, day 2. So them finding alleged glove week 2, they're saying, that glove wasn't in the house, allegedly. I don't know how that story got out, but that's why I try and listen to the news. Fair use reaction clip. Let's continue. Fair use.
Their DNA.
Please hit the subscribe button, you guys. Let's get me over 100 likes, please. There's been about 2,000 or 3,000 people in here already. Please, let's get me to 100 likes. Starting with 50 people, double tap that screen, please. Double tap the screen to get me at 100 likes. Thank you. Let's continue.
Or if they're able to track purchases like the backpack, or if these tips that keep coming in give them a break that they're looking for.
So, Griff, one last question about that glove. Authorities say that the glove appears to be a match. But when they say that, they're basically just basing that on the way it looks. It looks like it's the same glove that the person was using in that door cam. There's no other, scientific match beyond that.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Please hit subscribe. Continue to hit the like button. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Prayers for Nancy for a safe return home.
Right, and that's an important point, Charlie, because what they were able to do is they were able to lift DNA off of this glove, but they find the glove significant because the glove appears to match the look and style of the one that was seen on that doorbell ring camera that we have been playing. The gloves you see come towards the camera, that's what's different about this glove than the other 15 they've found so far. And so when that DNA is put into the CODIS system and the results come back, they will then begin to look for who it may be. Is it a relative in this area? Is it somebody that perhaps matches the build 5 to 10? There's probably a likelihood that we don't know all of the details they told us about the suspect in that ring camera. They may know more that they're not sharing with us, like ethnicity or other details. That'll be all part of the factor. But one thing is for sure, hopefully the officials today, tomorrow, will start to give us a little bit more to work on, because there are lots of, reporting going out there that the officials are having to shoot down. Like, for example, yesterday, there was a local report that the prevailing theory in this was a burglary gone wrong. Sheriff Nano saying, no, that's not the prevailing. That didn't come from an inside source from us, because, we're working at all of the angles. But because of the lack of information and not having these press conferences, you have these stories out here that gain steam that have no basis. So we just stick to the facts.
If you're just not coming in, I'll play this clip in regards to Nancy and what she had to say. If you're just not coming in, like the video, guys, come in.
I wanted to come on, and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on. I wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say that we still hope.
Next clip.
To whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late. To whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late.
Next clip.
And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And you're not lost.
Next clip.
We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late. We believe.
So it's clear she's in an area where it's a little loud. I don't know if it's by an expressway. So it's, if something transpires, she can get to the house. If some breaking news. Prayers for the mother, for a safe return, for her to be with her family. Savannah and her family will never be the same. This, I'm sure, is gutting. What they probably feel they should have did, could have did, how they could have did things different with her being 84. Of course, sometimes when 84 older people, they want to live alone. They don't want to live with their daughters because they don't want to become an instant babysitter or hear you or your husband in the drama. So sometimes older people do want to live alone. But if they're going to live alone, you got to have some safety precautions that if something's transpired, 30 seconds in, a police officer can be notified. Ambulance can be notified. I was listening to someone like 2 weeks ago. A daughter lived separate from her dad, and allegedly the dad fell, and she was able to get the ambulance because, of course, he on the floor. He don't have his phone by him. He don't have. I don't know if he had a life alert by him. But she notified him that the police get there. And then, of course, she was able to take a flight out to get near him by him. But at least she was able to call for an ambulance for him being on the floor. So that's the biggest thing. Just if an older parent is going to be living alone, you have to be able to have eyes on them if you're not within the same home as them. So that's one thing that she mentioned. A lot of police officers, ex police officers, ex FBI agents, ex chiefs have been speaking out of how this case was handled. Many people they're giving side eye. They're giving side eye how it was handled because we see other missing cases and there's a huge search from the community. There's flyers that go up. You see people handing out flyers. A lot of stuff happened. The family giving back the home 2 or 3 days later. No, the house should have stayed untouchable. You got pizza delivery going up there trying to ring the doorbell. You got Amazon trying to ring the doorbell. You got a lady with her dog, week 2, trying to walk up talking to a sheriff. No, the whole area should have been taped off the whole time. Now they have somebody there's sheriffs that's at the home. You can't really people are still trying to walk up to it. That was the whole last week was a mess. But you should not there should be cones by the driveway. You cannot come up here. You cannot come by here. Crazy of how people think. And it's then the lady with the dog, she mad saying, I'm don't be recording me. And you don't know if that lady was trying to give a tip to the sheriff. She could have easily stayed by outside of the driveway and say, come here, can you come here please? But it's important that people do try and give tips. Now this is the other thing too. When I was listening, JR Investigates has been doing an amazing coverage. Thank you for the gifted. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for the gifted. JR Investigates has been doing an amazing job covering the story. When the first person got detained, he was there. When the other 2 or 3 got detained, he was there around that location as well. Um, I've been hearing different things on his side, him walking into the neighborhood, seeing if there's paper flyers missing, Nancy missing. But the billboard did go up week after the week 1 or 2. But JR's been doing a great job covering what's going on. He's been talking to ex sheriffs, ex police officers. He's been talking to the local neighbors. How do you guys feel? You guys feel safe? Are you concerned? He's been talking to the people that's been dropping off flowers to the home, because I want to say that there was some kind of post that went around to the community to please bring yellow flowers. So last week, sometime people were bringing flowers, setting them right in front of Nancy home. Um, I saw this morning one of the neighbors did an interview. I didn't catch the whole thing, but she was saying, people are covering it. They appreciate people are covering it. People are questioning the family. The one thing I haven't been trying to do cautiously, because the family is struggling, the one thing I haven't been trying to do is shed light on the son in law. I don't think it's right. If the police can't figure out XYZ, why should we point fingers at the son in law? If unless the police say it, then yeah, I'll say something. But the son in law, innocent till proven guilty with the whole family, period. You got to be very careful in regards to pointing fingers if the police is obtaining people, detaining people, and then releasing people. If they felt that it within their friend group or family group, they would have detained them and then released them. But that hasn't happened. So does that make sense? Be very cautious about the family, because that would have been the case in regards to them detaining people and releasing people. We didn't hear that a family member was detained and then released. So I'm very cautious and sensitive that the family will never be the same. Mentally, physically, they're thinking and wishing they would have did XYZ. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very cautious about saying stuff about the family. Many people are happy that Savannah is still speaking up. I want to say last week she posted a video of the mother and her sister as younger adults. So there's that. But let's finish listening to the news. I have another one that's queued up that's going to talk about Nancy. But let's continue to listen. But I was just trying to give you guys updates on stuff that happened over the weekend. Like I said, there was a guy that was detained last week, and then there was 2 or 3 more detained, and all that were detained was released. People were hopeful for the first time. All the news went out to detain the person. Have y'all noticed this too? My page is a little different. Have y'all noticed that whenever they detain people, they're detaining people at a house in a different location? Is it just me? Have y'all noticed that? Let's get the likes to 100, you guys. Let's get the likes to 100. Please double tap the screen, thumbs up the video, above the video, below the video. Let's get the likes up. Have y'all noticed that? Whenever they detain people, it was it was a location at a house, and then it was a location of somebody being pulled over. Second situation, it was a location at a house and then at a Culver's restaurant. It's almost like there's two different situations. And then to come to find out, I don't know. And why don't they give us the tip that they possibly got of why they detained that person? I think that's why a lot of people want the press conference to let us know why you felt the need to detain, have all these police officers, SWAT. So we'll find out. But they were saying the second time they detained somebody that they were going to do a press conference. Then they changed their mind. So there's a lot going on. Whether the FBI and the sheriffs are getting along, not getting along, allegedly the report came out they are working diligently within the same investigation location. That's what they're trying to do. A lot's going on. Yeah, they dropped the ball and a lot of stuff. And us everyday normal people are saying, why did you keep it taped off? How is a pizza guy trying to deliver a pizza? What? Why is Amazon trying to drop off a package? Hello? They should tape it off and at the driveway, please contact the local police. You can't step to the door. Something. I don't. Okay, let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Us everyday people see stuff that's not making a lot of sense, and I'm happy that Savannah and her family, because many people may not know. I'm trying to give y'all general updates of trying to compile everything. Many people did not know that the family has hired an investigator because there's so many interesting things we're seeing coming from the sheriff's department. I don't blame Savannah family for hiring an investigator because if they have to get information every hour, every 30 minutes, the investigator can take a lot of that in. They're used to it. So Savannah's family probably is happy that a private investigator is looking into what's being said, what are we collecting, what are we seeing, and then they probably brief the family every hour, 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? But for them to have to do it, what's this? What does that mean? That somebody was trying to deliver pizza. What does that mean? That someone was trying to deliver, you know, Amazon, what do you mean? So the family's not at Nancy's house, the family's not at the sister's house, they're on a different location. So many people were like, well, why would you need to hire a private investigator if you have the sheriff and the FBI? Why not? Yes, the family needs help and assistance, understanding what has happened, what's to come, what that all means in regards to people being detained and then released. The family is getting information from the private investigator and from the FBI and from the sheriff, but they're getting even more of why and what probably evidence is being given to you know what I'm saying? So I don't blame them for paying for a private investigator. I don't blame them. I don't. You got to have somebody that's knowledgeable to say this is what's happening, this is what's going to happen, dot 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 dot. Because that sheriff being at a game or a sporting event, that didn't make no sense. So of course the private investigator is going to do a deeper dive. Yeah. Yeah, they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball in a lot of different situations. Let's continue fair use reaction clip.
But that DNA in this glove is definitely the tip of the spear of where we believe the investigation stands now, Charlie.
Griff, when you say preliminary results show DNA profile of an unknown male, does that just conclude?
The whole story is wild. The other thing I don't know if you guys saw, and I'm sorry I keep stopping playing. And I did post this on a short. Did you guys see when the sheriff department said this could take weeks or months? What? The sheriff department literally posted something stating this could take weeks or months. Why would you say that out loud? If y'all have a glove that has possible DNA, you should be stating we're coming closer to finding out who you are, ma'am, sir. Remember how Harvey was constantly saying the man says. How does Harvey know it's a man? You know what I mean? So certain stuff I listen different. I listen different. So yes, no, I don't think it's a fake story. I do feel that she is removed. Well, if you're sick of it, just go to a different page. There's a YouTuber that had millions of views. I don't know if it was Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. People care. Somebody mama. And we're learning what should or should not be happening. We're asking questions of why certain things are happening. If you're sick of it, just go listen to why Vlad had why Vlad posted what he felt and how he's trolling. We're going to cover a bunch of stuff today. But first, we're trying to cover the Nancy situation. We're talking hot topics, trending topics. Let's continue. My page is a little different. So I give updates and we talk about what's going on. My page is a little different. Other pages are slow, they're monotone. Well, today we've learned that they found a glove and 1 or 2 miles from Nancy's home. We're doing an investigation. That's not me. I go fast. We talk about what's going on. And then if I hear that there's updates or I think of things, I'll tell you what's going on. So my page is not monotone. We don't go slow. I should have several likes already in the building. I've been live for 41 minutes. But I try and give you guys the updates so you guys get the information. Let's continue. But do get the likes up. Yes, we do care. A lot of people care. Nobody should be taking an 84-year-old mama and removing her from her home. Let's continue. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for being here. People are side eyeing the sheriffs, period. And the FBI is there and they're trying to assist. Send it out to this lab. No, send it out to this lab. Well, we've been dealing with this lab and they have a lot of already information from this lab. This lab can do more. There's a lot going on. Thanks for being here, everyone.
That it's a man, or does that mean that the DNA didn't match any of the offenders?
That's true. They were saying went to church, but then come to find out it might have been her in a group watching church or something. A lot of information has been interesting. And then you figure, why is a person from a church or the meetup group telling the family that Nancy's not home? The family should have known that she wasn't in the home that morning. It took somebody else telling you that your mama not home. What's that all about? Y'all don't check on her before she go to bed. Y'all don't check on her when she wake up. Y'all don't know. Think about it. I told you my page a little different. Think about it. Nancy, if she was at a location, we don't know. We don't know. Think about it. No alarm went off. So her neighbors don't know what's going on. Think about it. There's drips outside of her door. Think about it. There's no media coverage about it until like 10, 11, 12, or 1. She got removed from the home or whatever. There's a situation between her and the house between 1 something and 2 something. Think about it. She's saying my family don't even know I'm not home no more. That's kind of sad that the mom is not even hearing that there's news coverage till middle of the afternoon day. Anything could have, that's valuable time. And then the family was looking because they're like, okay, maybe she's in the backyard, maybe she just wanted to take a trail, but think about Nancy's probably like, dang, nobody even know I'm not home. Nobody even knows I'm kidnapped until like 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. Some of the neighbors knew that she was Savannah's daughter, but a lot of stuff didn't happen till mid-afternoon. And it took somebody from the group to say, you're here. Wow, what? Think about how Nancy felt. Is she comfortable? Is she getting properly fed? Is she by a bathroom? Is she cold? Is she warm? Whatever. We're trying to wish that she's still here. And they say she's, a strong woman, but she has some health concerns. But yeah, it's a lot. Think about it from think about it possibly from Nancy's point of view. My family did not know something transpired with me. There's an alleged no alarm. Was the door locked? No, there's a lot. There's a lot. And it's sad. As an 84, she's probably thinking in her mind, who wants to take me? I'm 84. What's going on? Why are you trying to remove me and take me from my home? What is happening? Somebody please help me. And I don't even think anybody has said that the neighbors even heard a scream. You know what I mean? Did they cover her mouth? She's 84. It'd be hard for her to defend herself from, a strong person or persons. We don't know. But it's really sad. Appreciate their family. Yeah, this shows how rich people appreciate their family. Why the son-in-law dropped her off and not the daughter. Why the son dropped her off and not the daughter, and making sure she got in, get your pajamas on. Okay, you taking a shower, you taking a bath. You know, I think over time, people take responsibility, whether it's the daughter, whether it's the son-in-law. People are saying, okay, that night, should they have said, oh, stay over? And maybe there is a guest room she stays over when she doesn't want to go home. Who knows? But, Savannah spoke up. Many people were talking about Savannah was due to go to the Winter Olympics. Could you imagine if she was over there reporting on the Winter Olympics and this would have happened to her mom? Wait a minute, what? I'm here. I don't know where the Winter Olympics is. I know that it was going on a week before the mom got taken. So if it would have happened the weekend prior to her being going to the Winter Olympics, she would have had to travel back. Now, the daughter lives near the mom. I'm not certain where Savannah lives, and then the son doesn't live in the same location as the mom. So it took a few days for the son to get to where all this is happening. The um Nancy and the sister and the son did a video, then the son did a video, and then Nancy did another video with the family. Anyway, and then she did this video. So there's been a lot of videos from the family trying to speak up, speak out. Let's continue with the news. I'm just giving y'all general updates, general stuff that people are questioning, general things that JR Investigate notice, you know, and just update y'all on thinking outside the box, in the box, around the box, under the box, over the box. We talk over here. Thanks for being here, everyone. Super chats are welcome. So if you want me to see a certain comment, please highlight it in a super chat. You can send $1, $2, it doesn't matter. Send it that way. I'm very cautious about reading out the super chat because some people will try and, catch you. They'll say certain things in that comment and then you already said it on your page. So I'm cautious about saying certain things, but if there's certain things you want me to see or hear, send in a super chat. I'll read it and I'll probably read it to myself and then we'll kind of discuss what your thoughts are, what you've heard from, you know, a local neighbor or an ex person. Now, do I want to say that? There was a person that interviewed with JR Investigates, and there was a lot of people, media people. This is the other thing I'll say. A lot of media people are trying to go on JR Investigate and promote their page. Okay, there was a guy that went out there, I think it was Saturday. He was standing in front of the camera. Of course, he did his interview, but he's standing in front of the camera. People are so weird. Then there's another guy that trying to be on JR Investigate. He was trying to show his Instagram. It's like, you guys, are you okay? Clown. Yeah, clowns. And then people are like, get him off your camera. Don't interview him. They didn't like it. And it's like you could tell you stood in front of that man's camera for like a minute. And then you did it again. You stood in front of his camera, near his camera for 2 minutes. And then you called into another show saying, yeah, I'm down here. Okay. Do your investigation. You want to be seen. The foolery, the clownery. People are weird. People are weird. I'm sorry. Let's continue. Let me continue.
POTUS.
No, it just means that they were able to remember when you talk about DNA evidence, there's all kinds of there's biological, there's trace, and then of course there is impressions, and that means they're able to pick up something that identifies this as a male. But then that is then sent into the CODIS, this combined DNA index system that has the ability, Ainsley, for the FBI to combine to work across federal, state, and local crime databases. So that way they can begin to try and figure out who whose DNA that is. That result, because the DNA sample was sent to the Florida lab, it took about 24 to 48 hours. So if that's Friday, we believe it certainly could be today. We get results, would come back. And then, of course, the results of searching across that database with federal, state, and local. Who does it match? Is it anyone in this area? That is where the possible break would be.
Hey, one real quick question, because we need to move on, but is the working theory still that the suspect in the ring door camera was wearing a glove over another glove, or is that theory gone out the window?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest. Just to be very honest about this, I don't know exactly whether that's still the thing, because we don't have a lot of press access with the officials. They're keeping it very close to the vest here, but that's certainly a question I'll ask if I get an opportunity a little bit later.
Roger that. All right, Griff.
Thank you, Griff. Great to see you, man.
And just a
Thank
quick.
you.
Let's continue with some more news. Like the videos, you guys come in. We're going to do a general update. This is about an hour or two ago. Like the videos, you guys come in. Thanks for being here. Good morning. Good morning.
We're learning more about the gloves found in the area. According to the FBI, teams have recovered 16 gloves. Many, the FBI believes, left behind by searchers. But according to a person familiar with the matter, one of them found about...
Is it 16 or 17? Take it with a grain of salt. Like the videos, you guys come in.
2 miles from her house is consistent with the type of glove the suspect was wearing in the doorbell surveillance video. The FBI says the DNA on that glove appears to belong to an unknown male. According to a federal law enforcement source with knowledge of the investigation, investigators are not categorizing the case as any particular type of crime at this stage, adding that a burglary-robbery scenario is just one of the myriad theories being considered. After that scenario circulated over the weekend, the sheriff telling NBC affiliate KVOA, "I have no idea where that came from." Authorities going through the tips pouring in. Are you close to finding this person?
We think we're getting there. We think we're getting closer.
Yet on Friday, another letdown after law enforcement, including SWAT teams, swarmed a home a mile from Nancy's property.
Yeah, I'd be going crazy too. I'd be going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'd be with the FBI. I'd be with the SWAT. I'm right up in it. Give me a jacket. Give me a coat. I'm different. At the time she was taken, what was it, 221? Everybody honked their horns at 221. Honk the horns, let her know we ain't getting close. I'm different. I'm different. And you better believe that if you are the one that took the mama and had my mama, you better believe if I can get close to you, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. Mm-mm. And many people I'm hearing, because of course some people know, but many people were talking about how, why, what, at 84. Y'all don't know. She gone. At 84, alarm system. Was the door locked? There's so much stuff we don't know. And people are wondering if she's not within the same area. People are wondering. Like the video, fair use reaction clip. People are wondering, questioning. Okay, let me say this too. Told you my page is a little different. Stick with me. There's a guy that's doing video clips. I'll show who he is, and I'll show you the page. And he's been making certain comments. I want to play the clips, but I don't want to play the clips and it shows an insensitive side. I get why he's doing it. I get why he's saying it, but I wanted to show the clips at first, but then I was like, I don't want my page to show an insensitive side. I think he's doing it, and we get it why he's doing it, but I'll show you, and then you can go listen in your spare time, even if I play one or two. But I want you to I want to show you who's asking questions. What's this? Where's the family? Okay, what's this video? Okay, they want, so I get why he's doing it. But I will show you something that somebody is asking questions that a lot of people are asking, but I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, let's continue.
You can hear authorities here yelling at people inside as they served a search warrant. They later conducted a traffic stop of this Range Rover. Ultimately, no arrests were made. 2 law enforcement sources tell NBC News investigators are leaning away from the person who owns that home, along with the delivery driver they detained last week in Rio Rico. Those same officials say investigators are also leaning away from any of Nancy's relatives as potential suspects, now stressing that surveillance video footage could be key. Investigators working with private companies, including Google, to uncover more video. You're working with the tech companies still?
And yeah, we've asked them, and they're working as best they can.
And as for the glove, the FBI says they're going to add the DNA on it to their national database. They say results for that take about 24 hours. Investigators are also still working to identify the DNA taken from the property that the sheriff's department says is not Nancy's or someone close to her. The big question, and something we don't know yet, is will those two samples be a match? Craig.
Liz Court's there for us in Arizona. Liz, thank you. Let's bring in NBC's Tom Winter, our national law enforcement and intelligence correspondent. Tom, let's start where Liz left off there. Let's start with that glove that was found in Nancy's home, the DNA in her house that does not match her or anyone close to her. How significant could those two key pieces of evidence be?
You know, I know a lot of people are focused on the fact that they've got the glove and there's DNA on it, and that's what the FBI said in their statement. But I think our focus and our reporting over the weekend is actually on the rest of that information, which is that glove was found approximately 2 miles from the house.
2 miles.
It belongs to somebody that they haven't identified. It's male DNA. If it had female DNA on it, or it had Nancy's DNA on it, that would be very significant. At that point, you would say, okay, this definitely has a nexus to the crime, and then you would start to just focus in on that entire area. And is there any video we can get, or does that advance the timeline? That would be critical, but that's not the case. And the National DNA Database, just so people understand, that is made up of people that have been arrested and or convicted of crimes. When you look at the total size of that, it's only approximately 6.5–7% of the population. So even if you get a match, the best it tells us is that somebody with a criminal record was in an area 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house at a timetable that we don't know. So I think investigators that are looking at that information, or perhaps not looking at that, is the clue that I think a lot of other people are.
There was a lot of police activity on Friday. There was a SWAT roll, a car. There was a lot of attention on that. Did that yield anything for investigators?
Yeah, Hoda, that whole search came up very quickly on Friday night. And basically what they're doing is they're saying if they think they have a good lead, in a normal investigation, they might take 2 or 3 more days to really kind of figure out as much as they can. In this case, because, you know, we don't know where Nancy is, we don't know what's happened to her, they're moving much faster. So there was a federal search warrant, SWAT team rolls up, they take it. You know, you hear that people are detained. They're just detained because they're conducting a search warrant. They don't want people walking around a house or a potential area where they could find evidence. But as Liz mentioned, it's our reporting with my colleague Jonathan Dienst over the weekend that, look, they're shying away from those individuals as well.
Tom, you've covered cases like this for a long time. You're very well sourced. I know you've been talking to some of these investigators. What are they saying about how they feel about this investigation as we head into this third week? What's their attitude at this point?
You hear third week, you hear that, you know, we got that incredible doorbell video last Tuesday. We thought, I know I told you both privately, I thought.
And also with the doorbell too, you guys, some of the detectives are wondering when they remove the doorbell, could they still get audio from the doorbell? When they took the camera off the door, was the audio still, and does the police have the audio from them removing that from the door? Because remember, we saw a picture, we saw him walking. Is there audio in regards to him speaking to Nancy, or if there's one person involved, 2 people involved, we don't know. But do they also have audio in regards to after they removed it, or did they damage it? And there is no other audio versus what we saw, him stepping to the door, the flashlight in his mouth, him trying to go get brush to distract away from the camera. Is there audio that they've heard from the people? That's what other police or sheriffs were wondering. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Good afternoon, everyone. Please hit the subscribe button. There's about 181 in the building. Let's continue. Fair use.
48 hours around then, we would really perhaps start to have some breaks in the case. They still have some good leads. We spoke with them over the weekend. There's still a number of avenues that they're pursuing that they like, that they want to know more about, people they want to know more about, events they want to know more about. So I think the feeling there is kind of until that is exhausted, until those leads run out, and the priority leads that they're getting in as they continue to get the phone calls. If those run out, then I think that they've got to think about some new tactics or think about where the investigation goes from here. But you heard Savannah this morning. They're still pleading for those calls to come in. They still believe they can solve this crime. And that's
Good
where
morning.
at this morning. We'll continue to track that and report, obviously, on what they get or what they don't get over the next couple of days.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Tom, thanks for something.
If you're just not coming in, I'll play the clip where Nancy's telling the person there's still time to bring her back. While I cue up the next video.
Still have hope. And we still believe. And I wanted to say that we still have hope.
Next clip. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late. To whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late.
Next clip.
And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. And we are here. And
next clip.
You're not. We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
Next clip. Oops. Okay, so there's that. Let me bring in more news that they're talking about. Prayers for Nancy. She looks exhausted. She looks tired. I would be too. Would be sleeping. Would be frustrated. They probably want to keep certain news close to the chest. We get that. So let's go here. Like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for being here, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Let's go.
Banfield, this is Drop Dead Serious. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning.
It's another late one. I know. It's a really late night because I was about to do this podcast about 2 hours ago, and then suddenly things started happening, information started coming in, so I put it off so that I could have a full collection for you, and I have a really big collection of information for you on the Nancy Guthrie investigation. First of all, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for being a subscriber, and the members.
Good
you guys
morning.
are amazing. Thank you so much. If you are not subscribed, do it. Hit the button to subscribe. Thank you. I'd appreciate it. It does me a solid. I really love the folks who are joining. I have a lot for you tonight, starting with a new message from Savannah. Savannah has taken to Instagram again, and it is just heart-wrenching to see her, the pain in her face as she appeals to the kidnapper, the person who has her mother or those who know where her mother is, to please, for the love of God, it's not too late.
Yep.
It's not too late. She's appealing to their better angels if they have any. And I'm going to show you that in just a moment. Also, the FBI did something they do not normally do. They put out a statement. They actually gave it to News Nation. And at first I thought it was a typo because I thought the FBI doesn't usually do this. They don't update anybody. They work in absolute silence. And they didn't do that in this particular case. They made comments about the gloves, plural, the many, 16 gloves
so it is
that
16.
They have now collected. And the specific one in particular that's the most important. I'm going to break down everything about it and why it matters and some things that people aren't reporting on, like why chain of custody is critical here. That's coming in just a minute. Also, there's new reporting tonight that people are beaten up. New reporting that this may be considered by law enforcement authorities as a burglary gone wrong. But the pushback on it is intense from a number of different sources. So I'm going to give you the reporting and who's pushing back on it. And I'm going to give you some information just about the burglaries in this area. And, you know, this has caused people in the neighborhood to be understandably panicked, people who live there.
Right.
So it's important that the people who live there in the local community get accurate reporting because they don't always hear from the authorities. I lived this game for a long time, and the authorities do not always tell us what's happening. And sometimes they tell us the opposite. Sorry to say, no smear on them. They got a hard job to do, and they've got to do it in a certain way. But that doesn't mean that reporters shouldn't seek the truth. So I'm going to tell you what that is in a minute. Also, NBC says it's got a couple of sources saying that law enforcement is starting to lean away from people that they thought might be responsible. Wow. Not just one or two, several. And I'll give you that reporting in a minute as well. And Brian Enton, God, he's so good. He's so good. He returned to the scene of the raid from Friday night, and he walked right up to the front door.
Yes, kudos to Brian. Brian is so good. If you don't know, go check out Brian's page. Brian, JR Investigate. Brian's been on it every day, giving us updates when he's when the houses are being raided. He gives us a late night updates. Brian is so good. Like the video, fair use reaction clip.
I'll tell you what happened, what the result was. There's a whole lot coming in this podcast. So, as I say, warm up your milk because it's late, or if you're waking up, juice your juice into a mimosa or something and get comfy because I got a lot to tell you. First, though, thank you so much again for being here. And thank you so much to my sponsors because I'm an independent journalist now. So it really helps when you subscribe, and it really helps when my sponsors believe in me. And Van Man is one of them. This is for you. Like, do you think all those natural products that you're buying, like from the wholesome mom and pop companies, are really natural? Because they're not always. Many of them have been bought out by mega corporations and then private equity firms who hijack the brands and then load them up with corporate slop.
Hold on, let me go past the commercial. Like the video. Some of the pages have ads, so let me go past her ad. She has a job to do, and she has.
You have bottom heavy.
Hold on, like the video. Like the video. Like the video. And that's why I try and go to the news and credible pages to get information, whether they're close to Savannah, know the family. Megyn Kelly's been doing good too. Megyn Kelly's been talking to ex-sheriff, ex-detectives. Megyn Kelly has been doing good too. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Hold on. As I pop past, the ad wants to come up again. Hold on. So let me skip you. Let me go past. Okay. Fair use reaction clip. Let's continue. Good morning, everyone. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before where you're watching from. And let's continue. Thanks for being here, everyone. Good morning. Good morning.
Areas when they searched the vicinity. The one with the DNA profile recovered is different and appears to match the gloves of the subject in the surveillance video. The FBI has and will continue to provide assistance on whatever timeline is provided to us. Let me just break that down. The one, meaning the one glove, I am assuming they're referring to the plural gloves found approximately 2 miles from the Guthrie residence in a field, have been packaged up by the Pima County Sheriff and sent off to the lab. Then they're referring to the one. I'm a little confused by that, but we can only go by what the FBI is saying in the statement. In any case, when they say that's different, it means it's a big focus. It's a glove that looks a lot like the one in the video, right? A lot of reporters were getting it wrong, and the lower thirds on the cable news were really fucking it up earlier by saying, oh, the DNA matches, the DNA is not matching anything. Let's be really clear. The glove itself, what it looks a lot like the thing on the video, right? By the monster on the video. That's what's similar. But I have to tell you, Brian Enton had some really interesting things to say earlier. Those gloves, in one of his reports today, those gloves are used by hairdressers, they're used by mechanics, they're used by construction workers. Those gloves are used by a lot of people, right? Turns out they're also used by searchers, as we've just come to learn. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I've got some really good pictures I'm going to show you. Like, you're going to lose your shit. Actually, in a hot minute, when I show you some of these pictures, I don't think you're going to be very happy, but I'm going to show them to you in a minute. I still want to stay on the statement, though, because when they talked about quality control, I'm trying to read into what quality control is. I'm trying to think maybe chain of custody. Like, they've got to be really, really careful, right? When a lab does its work in a criminal investigation, the chain of custody is so precise. Everybody who handles it, it is logged, it is careful, it is cautiously handled. And if you're going to send it off to another entity in a certain way, that's got to be very careful. So I'm assuming that might be what they mean by quality control. Maybe it isn't. Comment, let me know if you work for the FBI and you can read that language a little differently than I can. Say something, and I will absolutely put that out in tomorrow's episode. But I am very curious why there was no comment from the FBI about taking that DNA from this one glove, the one that is different and appears to match the gloves in the subject of the surveillance video. Did they take that DNA and also check it against the DNA that was found inside Nancy Guthrie's house? The unknown male DNA that did not match anybody in her direct circle of friends and colleagues and family. That's what I'm curious about. Did that DNA match the unknown DNA in the house? Because that's you're getting somewhere, right? What are the odds? There'd be some unknown male DNA inside Nancy's house, and then there'd be the same DNA on the side of the road in a black glove 2 miles away, right? Just cast out on the side of the road. That would be a massive, massive jump in this story and in this investigation. Don't know, though. They didn't say anything about that. They're doing it. Trust me. There's no way they're not doing it. Okay. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about CODIS, because you probably heard a lot about CODIS. Everybody talks about CODIS, and they never break it down. It's the Combined DNA Index System. Combined DNA Index, called the CODIS NIS. That's the National Index System. Same thing. But basically that is, it's a big, huge collection of criminals and all their DNA. Big old collection of bad guys and girls. Let me give you some stats as of just this past November, and this is from the FBI. In the CODIS database of DNA, there are 19 plus million offender profiles.
Wow.
Holy shit. That's a cache of bad people, right? And you can take DNA and you can check it against the bad guys that they've collected in this big CODIS bucket. Yeah? 6 million plus people arrested are in there as well, because often when you're arrested, your DNA is taken, and you can be cleared, and you can be you can be exonerated, but that profile is still in there. There's also 1.45 million forensic profiles. Here's what I think about that. Forensic profiles are profiles from other crimes that forensic investigators have discovered. Maybe they haven't linked it to someone, but it's a forensic profile they'll put into CODIS and say, this is an unknown that we found at this scene. We've never been able to solve it, but suddenly it might show up at another crime. And now you can link crimes. Do you remember that young girl who was assaulted in California? And there was a guy who came out of the house and you could see the back of him. And suddenly it was connected to a rape and murder in Maryland. So there is a forensic connection. So a forensic profile can be from something that's unsolved, and then you can connect it to other crimes, right? Could also be from guys who are dead. Yeah, maybe it's a killer who died, and they've got that profile in there. So a lot of information. There's basically a lot of information in CODIS, and it's actually produced over 781,000 hits. So CODIS is a very, very good thing for crime fighters. And by the way, that's not just CODIS. That's the thing. It's not just CODIS, because Brian Koberger, he wasn't an offender before he decided to slaughter 4 innocent kids, right? He wasn't in CODIS.
Why use Nectar? Because we're here for you.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. She giving us a lot of great information. Thanks for being here, everyone. Please, let's get the likes up, you guys. Let's get the likes to 100, please, so we can continue. We should have already been at 100 likes. We're an hour in. Thumbs up the video, you guys. Let's get the likes up. Please double tap the screen. YouTube makes it easy. Double tap and hit the thumbs up, please. Let's continue. Let's get the likes over 100. There's about 290. There's 233 in the building. Please hit subscribe. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
So how did they find that DNA from the knife sheath? One glove, though, would be the same DNA generated, but that profile's still in there. There's also 1.45 million forensic profiles. Here's what I think about that. Forensic profiles are profiles from other crimes that forensic investigators have discovered. Maybe they haven't linked it to someone, but it's a forensic profile they'll put into CODIS and say, this is an unknown that we found at this scene. We've never been able to solve it, but suddenly it might show up at another crime. And now you can link crimes. Do you remember that young girl who was assaulted in California? And there was a guy who came out of the house and you could see the back of him. And suddenly it was connected to a rape and murder in Maryland. So there is a forensic connection. So a forensic profile can be from something that's unsolved, and then you can connect it to other crimes, right? Could also be from guys who are dead. Yeah, maybe it's a killer who died, and they've got that profile in there. So a lot of information. There's basically a lot of information in CODIS, and it's actually produced over 781,000 hits. So CODIS is a very, very good thing for crime fighters. And by the way, that's not just CODIS. That's the thing. It's not just CODIS, because Brian Koberger, he wasn't an offender before he decided to slaughter 4 innocent kids, right? He wasn't in CODIS. So how did they find that DNA from the knife sheath? Well, there are a lot of different DNA databases, and some of them are commercial. You and I probably bought it for somebody for Christmas or a birthday, you know, genealogy sites like 23andMe and Ancestry.com. That's an enormous amount of DNA. However, you know, it took a decade or so to figure out that people got real antsy about, you know, being company and then finding that their DNA is being shared with law enforcement, and then grandpa just got arrested. So they tightened up the privacy pieces of those private companies. And so now what you'll see is that you check a box if you want to be included in the database. And if you don't want to be included in the database, you don't have to be. And so law enforcement can go with the voluntary folks in those databases, right? And they can do their genetic genealogy work that way as well. And there's some other databases as well that are out there, but generally speaking, it's not just the bad guy CODIS, it's not just the offender profiles that they can go into, they can actually go into these other sources as well. So you just know they're going to put that in there and figure out where to go from there. Here's what I was telling you about earlier, about the idea that 16 gloves have been found in the area around, you know, Nancy's property. I know it makes me crazy too. First of all, I'm not a litter bug, and I really hate that people are, but people are. And sometimes
you don't have to say goodbye. You could just leave. We don't care. Hello, we're getting information. She's giving me a lot of good news, and I've been following this for 2 weeks. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
It's accidental. So take a look at the New York Post pictures. They've got pictures of multiple gloves all over that area, right? And this is kind of par for the course. This isn't just weird about Nancy's area. These aren't just Nancy's searchers necessarily. I talked to Matt Murphy the other night, and he said, Jesus, if I could tell you how many gloves are out there. They're everywhere, every state, every highway, everything. Think of the number of trucks that you've seen driving on highways with open backs, and maybe workers in the back as well. Some of that stuff's just flying out. Sometimes it's litter, sometimes it's accidental. But a lot of workers use those gloves, and they can just make their way, you know, into the litter category. But here's the way Matt put it. You know, that also, you know, tells me about today's report. There was a glove that was found on the side of the road 1.5 miles from Nancy's house, one of the black gloves that's similar shirt, as seen in the video. And then after that, Fox Digital reported that a pair of gloves was found in the area. That's all I can tell you. I don't know more than that. But I mean, that's
I can
shocking.
tell you right now that there's always a glove found. Actually, every time you look,
there are.
There's always when you get into the garden, there are gloves everywhere, and it's a weird feature. There's gardening gloves, there's workers' gloves. You know, I was in Central Park last week. Despite the cold, there's one mitten everywhere you go. There's gloves. Okay, so when
I just find it weird that they're finding it 11 days later. That should have been found. I mean, you know, within the first few days. Also, they were black. They were black latex kind of gloves.
But when you're doing that and you're collecting that information as a prosecutor, when you send people in and you got to search, but that gives me almost like Vietnam flashbacks to all the times we found gloves that weren't related to the case, and then the defense comes in every single time, and it's like, look at the DNA in this glove. It's not my client. This is the real killer. So you're handing nuggets to the defense. So let's be thoroughly searched. That's something that the lawyers at trial, if they ever get a suspect and charge somebody, will have to navigate through. But you know, there's the investigation. It's like the beginning of Law and Order, right? There are two equal parts: the investigation and the prosecution. They got to be mindful of that. And I don't know where the DA for Pima County is. I would expect that he would be up on that stage. I would think.
Haven't seen
agency or her agency, would be responsible for taking that baton and getting justice in the case if they ever get a suspect. And I don't know what's going on with that.
So there you have it. And then Jennifer Coffendorfer, who's former FBI, she works a lot on News Nation. I've interviewed her a ton of times. She's very, very smart. She was in the Bureau for a long time. She tweeted out an amazing picture that gives you an idea of why some of those gloves might be from the searchers. These are pictures of authorities, including with the FBI, who've got their gloves in their back pockets as they're working, right? They're walking down the highways, they're doing the work, they're in the rough terrain. And so I just want to give credit where credit's due. A user named Pink Star Shimmer provided those pictures. And I think it's just very insightful as to why gloves may end up being found, right? When you have a very big search and it turns out doesn't feel like this one was as big a search, because do you remember on day 2 when the sheriff told us the search has been called off permanently?
See?
I lost my shit because I thought, what do you mean? It's a little early.
Day 2, they called off the search? What are you talking about? Okay, neighbors, let's buckle down. If they're going to call off a search, let's do our own search. Day 2, they called off the search, and they probably gave the family back the house around that same time where it was day 3. What? They called off the search, but then maybe at some point the FBI was involved. Day 2, wow. Like the video. I couldn't imagine. Prayers for Nancy for a safe return back to her family. I couldn't imagine if Nancy heard. What do you mean day 2 you calling off the search? Do you know who my daughter is? Are y'all crazy over there? What? Could you imagine how the family felt about that? Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Oh, sorry. Now there's a commercial. Could you imagine how the family felt about that? Fair use reaction clip.
They had their reasons. Think about it. They had their reasons. Early on, they had their reasons for calling off the search early, right? I think I reported on a couple of reasons why. They had a laser focus. They towed a car, processed it by warrant. And this might be the reason they called off the search. They were absolutely laser focused and they knew who they wanted. Has that changed? Don't know, but I've got more reporting on that. Something that Brian Enton found out today when he interviewed a guy named Sergeant Aaron Cross. Aaron Cross is with the Pima County Sheriff's Office. He's the union president. He didn't feel as optimistic about the discovery of all of these gloves. And let me play for you how he put it. Take a look.
Apparently there's a lot of gloves that have been found. Yeah. What do you make of that? I mean, I guess these gloves are used for all sorts of purposes, it seems.
It is pretty common. It could be from investigators. It could also be, I mean, we have a large amount of homeless that live and camp in the area. We also have, we've experienced a lot of nighttime car break-ins in this area as well. So, I mean, it could be from any one of those things. Hopefully it's related to the Guthrie kidnapping or incident, and they're able to get some DNA out of it, and it breaks the case open. But I understand it was found a couple miles away. And hopefully, as he's driving away, he throws his gloves out the window. Maybe we'll get a lucky break, but there's a lot of possibilities.
So we will see, you know.
But okay, there's the glove. What about the plate? There could not have been that many neighbors coming in and out that late at night. What about the plate? What about the vehicle? Why are we not seeing the plate and the vehicle? And then some were saying their cameras may not be able to catch certain things. There couldn't have been that many people that late at night. Yeah, it's an older type of community, but there's younger people there, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. But that late at night, there's a lot of darkness in that area. There's a lot of roads of how you can get to Nancy house, and then some of those roads, some of the live streamers are losing signal if they go a certain route. So some of them are going straight. They're turning off to the right to go to the main road, and it's kind of like a straight shot somewhat. I've seen someone do it. It's like I wasn't. It's not. I don't even know if it. I don't know if it's no. It's a mile and a half from the main street, but let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. But yeah, there's a lot of different areas and angles. Why aren't the cameras catching some of that? And then somebody drove. I watched somebody drive to the daughter's house. So, cameras are catching that as well. So like the video, like the video. Fair use reaction clip.
We'll see what happens. When they test these gloves, they might just find it's just some worker. That'll suck to be him. You expect one of those raids, right? And we've been told by the sheriff, expect a lot of activity in the days to follow. I didn't see any today, but there was a lot, last night, and I've got news about that in a minute. But let me tell you a little bit about what NBC is reporting late this evening. They said they've got two sources familiar with the investigation, that authorities are now leaning away from several people previously scrutinized, including the man whose home was searched on Friday night. That was the big raid that we saw that was connected to a silver Range Rover that was towed. And I've got news on that in a minute. Also, a man named Carlos who was stopped in a car last week. That was the other raid. And here's what's key. And any of Guthrie's relatives. The sources cautioned that no one has been officially ruled out and investigators continue to pursue leads. But it's really interesting to hear this. NBC saying two sources familiar with the investigation told NBC News that authorities are leaning away from these people. So that's really interesting, especially given the next report that I'm going to tell you about. And this comes from Brianna Whitney. Brianna is a local reporter in Phoenix. She works for Arizona Family. Arizona Family is an unusual brand, but that's the brand. Arizona Family is the brand that incorporates these television stations, KTVK and KPHO. And Brianna's been doing some good reporting. She, along with the Associated Press, report the following. And I'm going to read directly from what they filed. Tucson, Arizona. New investigative leads are being uncovered in the Nancy Guthrie case, and an inside source tells Arizona Family true crime correspondent Brianna Whitney that there is a widespread belief that the 84-year-old could be alive. In the past week, multiple experts who reviewed the doorbell camera footage with Arizona Family reporters said the incident did not appear to be a planned kidnapping. Now the inside source says that investigators believe this was a burglary gone wrong. So again, let's go back up to that. Multiple experts who reviewed the doorbell cam, not insiders. It was multiple experts who reviewed, said that it did not appear to be a planned kidnapping. But now an inside source says the investigators believe this was a burglary gone wrong. She doesn't say who the inside source is or what kind of source. Is this a law enforcement source? Is this somebody associated with? She doesn't say. On Sunday afternoon, the source said investigators are waiting for DNA evidence results from a Range Rover SUV that was towed at a Tucson area Culver's restaurant late Friday. So that directly refutes what was said by NBC, right? That they're leaning away. Our sources, or two sources on NBC, are leaning away from poor Carlos and then this guy Friday night who was grabbed at the Culver's. This is suggesting that they're waiting on DNA evidence from that Range Rover SUV. I can tell you somebody else who says they're waiting on evidence from the Range Rover. DNA testing from the Range Rover is Brian Enton from News Nation. So there's like this reporting that's at odds, and everybody has their different sources. I always want to know what level are your sources? Are they a friend of an investigator who heard in the bathroom? I don't know. They don't specify what level of source. But to me, it's always really important to specify. How good is this source? Who are these two sources familiar with the investigation? So as for that raid the other night, on Friday night, that kept us all awake until, 4 o'clock in the morning, you heard the reports 3 people were detained and that there were no arrests the next day. But, the investigation is continuing, and Brian Enton has been reporting about further investigations that are ongoing regarding what happened that night, and especially the silver Range Rover that was hooked up and towed off and is being tested. But Brian is so...
Like the video. We're at 52 likes. You guys, let's get the likes to 100 so we can continue. Let's get the likes to 100 so we can continue. I hate stopping my show. Everybody has to do their part. It's free to hit the like button. Let's get the likes to 100, please. Double tap the screen. YouTube makes it really easy. Let's get the likes up and thank you. There's 152. We should already been at 100 likes. Please double tap the screen to get the likes up. Early Monday morning, trying to give you guys an update. Press 1 if you already hit the like button. Thank you. Press 2 if you already hit subscribe, and thank you. Let's get the likes up, you guys. It pushes me into the algorithm, lets people know we're live. Everybody can do their part. I have to pull these clips, understand what's going on, so I know what's going on. You know, Valentine's, that Friday night was busy. I didn't go to bed till really late, Thursday and Friday. So, of course, for Valentine's Day, I'm kind of exhausted trying to figure out what's going on. Let's continue. Fair use.
Good at his job. He went back to the neighborhood and he checked in on that house that was raided. Here's his reporting.
This is what would happen to your body if you ate mood sleep gummies every day.
Here's his reporting.
Then I got so distracted with all the other developments of the weekend. But this is what the neighborhood looks like. It's a pretty nice neighborhood. It's interesting because, again, it was so dark when I was out here. It's interesting to see it all in the daylight. This is the house here that the SWAT activity happened at. And it's pretty quiet around. I'm going to go to the door and see if anybody is home at the house.
So he's going back to the house where the house had a raid and then people were released. Like the video, like the video. Hi, just passing through. Hello, hello. Yeah. Heart concerns, cameras, monitors. We talked about that. So I'm glad I'm not
like anybody's answering.
Yeah.
I think other reporters have already been here. Not sure if anyone's home, although there is a car. Oh, hi, we'll be right there, it said.
Oh, it's saying hi, we'll be right there.
I don't think anyone's coming. I saw someone in the window. Hello? Hello? There was a woman that just opened the blind just for a second.
So they opened the blind and then they didn't want to come out.
Reporters have been here and it looked like a kind of an older woman that opened the curtain just for a second. There's this car that was in an accident in the driveway. But yeah, so this is the neighborhood. It's a pretty nice neighborhood. Kind of reminds me of Nancy Guthrie's neighborhood a little bit. It's about 2 miles away, but the houses are much closer together, and they're out closer to the road. In Nancy's neighborhood, there's obviously a lot more like shrubbery and cactuses in the front.
So there's more about that raid too from Brian Enton. The SWAT raid from Friday night, where the woman and the man, presumably a mother and a son, were taken out of their home. The home was searched. They were taken next door. At least the woman was taken next door to her neighbors to wait it out. And then another man, presumably another son, was held up at detained at the Culver restaurant where the silver Range Rover was. There's more that's happening there, including investigative leads and DNA testing that's still under investigation from that raid. And again, Brian Enton saying that the silver Range Rover is still under investigation, including DNA testing from the silver Range Rover. So I think it's just super fascinating that is still in play, and yet we've got these other reports that suggest it's not. It's just the investigation just seems all over the place, as does some of the reporting on it as well. It's just hard to know exactly what is happening. One thing we do know, they don't have Nancy. So I'm going to now tell you about some serious pushback on that reporting. Again, everybody's got their different sources, and Fox News Channel, as well as Fox News Digital, they have blanketed this story. They got over 30 people down there doing some just incredible work. Michael Ruiz from Digital and also Matt Finn from the News Channel have both been doing stellar reporting, and I've got some serious pushback. But before I get to them, another quick note from my sponsors, because again, I'm an independent. Have sponsors, and I've got to tell you that the people that I accept as my sponsors, I have to like them and I have to like their stuff. And the truth is, the stuff that I'm about to tell you about, I really like, and so does Chris. So just a little behind the scenes here. These sponsors send me products so that I can try them, and then I can decide if I want to, endorse them or not. Yeah. Well, I got about 8 boxes of cereal from Lovebird. Guess how many are left? 1, because Chris ate them all. My husband ate them all. They're very good. I'm not going to lie. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why I decided to endorse them. Here's one of the biggest ones. The next time you're in the kitchen, I want you to grab a box of your cereal, and I'd like you to read the ingredients. Refined sugars, red 40, seed oils, synthetic pesticides. Dudes, that is not breakfast food. That is gross. And the truth is, Big Food designs these cereals to drive our cravings and then boost their profits. So, and that's why I am all in on Lovebird, because it's made with just 7 ingredients, and they're real. They're right on the front of the box. So if you check this out, I've got the strawberry, it's one I like. Buckwheat, cassava, honey, coconut sugar, strawberry, coconut oil, sea salt, beetroot, and lemon. Real food.
I'm going to let her commercial thing go past. Like the video, fair use reaction clip.
Here's Michael Ruiz a little bit later with more pushback on the Arizona Family and Associated Press reporting.
We're getting general updates in regards to Nancy and the updates on what's going on with Nancy, Savannah Guthrie's mother.
Again, that's the reporting that this is looking like a burglary gone wrong, and that they are believing that Nancy Guthrie is alive. Michael is quoting law enforcement as saying, quote, nighttime residential burglaries are so ridiculously rare, crazy rare. Commercial building burglaries at night, residential during the day. We don't have any indication she kept really anything valuable there. And if this was a burglary gone wrong, they don't take the victim with them usually. I guess anything is possible, but my gut says it's something else entirely, end quote. So,
big.
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Like the video as you guys come in. Let's continue, fair use reaction clip.
Interesting to hear the competing theories and the competing reports on this, and to hear the competing sourcing. Again, I come back to who are the sources? What level are the sources? How dialed in are they? How far outside the actual knowledgeable investigators are they? That's important to think about. Okay, so the stats on burglaries and home invasions. I started to think, okay, I really would love to know about Tucson's statistics on nighttime home invasions and burglaries and kidnappings and murders and all the rest. And I got this at least from the Catalina Foothills Association president, Tom Pugh. He told Fox News Digital, quote, in the 50 years that I've lived here, I've never heard of any crime like this. By and large, there's just no crime. Or, you know, the crime that does occur is a petty kind of crime, where someone might leave their car unlocked and kids walk by and take something. But nothing like this has occurred since I've been here. Again, Tom Pugh telling Fox News Digital. He's the Catalina Foothills Association president. You would think he would know. 50 years he's been there. Says, yeah, maybe some kids steal stuff when they see a car unlocked, but nothing else. Okay, so about the terrain, because I know a lot of people have said, well, couldn't it be possible that all these properties seem to be open to each other, or there's rough terrain in between them, but you could certainly walk right up on a property from the back and not, say, use the roadways? And to that end, Brian Enton from News Nation, again, unbelievable reporter, he did this walk and talk and went out into that rough terrain where all the cacti are and all the rattlesnakes and all the rest. And he went out with a former Border Patrol agent named Art Del Cueto and got a real lay of the land. And when I say real lay of the land, you got to imagine what you're about to see and think about it in the pitch black of night. Again, with animals and rattlesnakes and all the other things that the desert offers. So take a look at Brian's reporting.
The terrain where we're used to walking through and trafficking, trying to track traffickers, human smuggling and drug smuggling. But the way, this is called a wash. A lot of people don't use that terminology. And as we walk through here, you'll see this is kind of like a trail where you know which way to walk in there. You're going to have some broken branches in this area.
Everything's like got thorns too, huh?
Everything's got thorns. And I think the difference is people hear desert landscape and they almost think that it's nothing but sand and you can see mud. So this is basically the brush. And as you walk further in, these are called, this is the actual wash. These are the washes. You know, we haven't walked too far, but if you go this way, and here I will show you, if it's dark out here, or even now, vehicles can go through this neighborhood, and they're not going to see anybody in this area of the brush. Now, this is called the wash. When it rains, you get water through here, of course, but they're dry most of the time. So you can walk through these areas and pull up behind some of these houses.
You could drive into some of these areas.
There's some areas where you'd be able to drive. It'd be more difficult, but you could definitely drive maybe like a quad through here. And there's a house right there. And if we continue walking through here, I mean, you'll see there's a house there. You probably couldn't see it when we were in the brush, but you're going through all this area. And at night, somebody that would know the terrain can walk through here and literally, you wouldn't know. We're probably, what 20 feet from from the road, and from where we're standing, we can't see my trucks. With some of these cameras, you would not be able to see the street.
The topography, as you can see, we're heading into the Solero Monument, is another challenge. The desert is not necessarily, it's beautiful, but it's not always friendly. There are a number of risks out there with thorny bushes and cactus and poisonous animals.
Now imagine this at night when it is completely dark and there's no street lights out here. There's absolutely no street lights. So that just adds to how difficult it is. And if you do have some type of ring camera and it's dark and you have this, you're really not going to get much out of a ring camera.
The topography is extreme. We're at 3,000 feet in elevation, right where we're at right now. And there's a mountain in front of us that goes up to close to 7,000 feet. And there's a mountain to the north of us that goes almost 10,000 feet. And everything in between creates a topography that's a challenge.
Ready for they bring her into Mexico?
Or bring her into Mexico, or even, I'll be honest.
Are there ways to do that though without being seen?
So there's areas obviously that are porous still within the border. Our border is more secure than it's ever been. We've all heard that, and it is true. But in Arizona, there's still porous areas where you could possibly head south, especially at nighttime.
It's highly likely she could be in Mexico. It's my opinion that might be one of the places that would logically make some sense to deal with her until what they want, what they're demanding, is satisfied.
I didn't even talk about scorpions. That's one of my biggest fears of the desert. I don't spend a lot of time in the desert, but I fear scorpions because they crawl into your shoes and they crawl into your boots. And I do remember people saying when I was in the desert when I was a war correspondent, you got to shake out those boots every night. And I used to shake out my boots every night, fearing these friggin' scorpions. I never did have one, thank God. But that's one of the things, you really got to think about just the dangers that are out there. So it's not just as easy as you could imagine, just sneaking up on a property from the back way in. I thought that was really wise of Brian Enton to go out there and just show us. So think about the guy that did this. Brian has told us how hard it is to get around there at night. It is really hard to get around there. He gets lost all the time, even in the daytime. And at night, no lights anywhere on those roads. Nothing. There's no street lights. It's under ordinance because it's stargazing, University of Arizona, and their astronomy work. There's no lights anywhere. So it's very, very difficult to make your way around there. And Brian uses Waze every time he's driving, day and night. So what did this...
Why is everyone ditching their old mattress for this one? I now understand why this viral Nectar mattress has thousands of 5-star reviews. I got the luxury sleep bundle with memory foam pillows, a full sheet set, and a mattress protector. I saved up to 50%. I ended up saving thousands of dollars.
And Brian uses Waze every time he's driving, day and night. So what did this perpetrator do? Did he know his way? Was he very familiar with the neighborhood? Did he use Waze or Google Maps? Because that's something they should be able to find out, right? That's an easy one. Who was fucking around at 1:47 in the morning in this particular area? Because not a lot of people are out driving there at that time of night, right? It just made me realize that's a real investigative possibility. Either way, either this guy was using some kind of mapping system, right? Or he wasn't and knows his way around. So it's just informative, right? Just to know someone's out there skulking around. They're not the kind of people that you would think would just drive around lost, with a kidnapped person in your trunk or seat or wherever, wondering where they are. You think they'd know to get the hell out of there and fast, and how to do that. Something else that I thought about when I watched the video several times, the bite light that I am convinced this guy has in his mouth because of the number of times he looks down and light shows up on the ground, right at the point where he's stepping up, right at the point where he pulls the vines, right at the point where he scans inside the vestibule looking for something before he pulls the vines. There's a light, and then the close-up of his face when he's actually messing with the camera, there's a light coming out of his mouth. So a lot of people talked about the bite light. Bite lights are small lights you can put in your mouth. Mechanics, people who need their hands, need to be hands-free, they can use bite lights. But as he looks down so many times in that tiled area, it made me wonder if he didn't drop saliva. Because if you put something in your mouth and you try to keep it in your mouth without your lips, it's hard to swallow. And having your mouth looking down might stand to reason that some of his saliva may have actually dropped. It would be dry, not obvious to the human eye, but is it possible that his DNA is right there on that front tiled entrance, right near the sticks? Because every time he's lighting it up, he's working his mouth and it's not closing around the light. So it's possible, it's very possible, that his saliva is somewhere in there. I wonder if that's one of the things they were testing for when they brought that white tent out. And then something else I want to talk about is the signal sniffer, because this was big. We talked about it last night. Brian Enton told us about the signal sniffer that was sent in by the feds and affixed to the runners of the chopper. I got more reporting on that from NewsNation's Libby Dean, and she adds to Brian's reporting. Let me read this. She says the signal sniffer technology being used to detect Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker is sophisticated FBI technology, according to an FBI source speaking to News Nation. The signal sniffer is a small device that was sent in and attached to the sheriff's helicopter. It can detect Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker signal. The helicopter has to stay low and move slowly for it to work. Wow. Listen, about 4 or 5 days ago when I talked to Matt Murphy, who's a homicide prosecutor from California, he and I talked about the pacemaker. He himself said, I wish they could get Nancy's phone and fly it around because it'll reconnect to the pacemaker. It was a great idea, right? And here it is actually playing out with the signal sniffer. I don't know how close you got to be with a signal sniffer. With the phone, you got to be 10 to 30 feet. A little hard to bring a helicopter 30 feet from your roof, of anybody's roof. But you know what? You can get really close to people's homes? Their roofs, their windows, drones. They're quiet. They hover. They can go anywhere. I just wonder if that signal sniffer might not be better served on a drone than the skid of a helo, right? I just can't imagine helicopters having to buzz that close. Again, I don't know the efficacy of these signal sniffers. First of all, I love that they exist. I do. I'm just always amazed when I see about new crime-fighting technology. I just don't know how close they have to be in order to try to light up with Nancy's pacemaker, but I feel like get a bunch of them and just start flying drones all over the Tucson area. Drones, they're silent, and they can go right up to someone's window. A lot of privacy issues there, right? Lots. Okay, and just since I've been doing this podcast with you, remember I said I waited really late at night so that I could gather all the information and bring you a full report? I thought I waited long enough, and it turns out I didn't, because there's new NBC reporting. And as I look at it real quickly, hang on, it looks like it's kind of knocking down some of the other reporting as well. Okay, hold it for a second. I'm going to bring you this new NBC report. I'm going to just squeeze in another quick mention from one of my sponsors, because again, I'm an independent journalist, so I hope you'll bear with me. Because Morgan & Morgan has been a really great partner of mine. They help make this podcast possible, and trust me, they are a BFD, a big deal. They're a major deal. They're America's largest personal injury law firm with over 1,000 attorneys, and their lawyers have recovered over $25 billion from more than 500,000 of their clients. Yeah. Let's talk about the client in Florida who got more than $100 million after the insurance company offered him $1 million, and the client in Pennsylvania who was offered $500,000, but Morgan & Morgan got them $29 million instead. And then there's the case in California, the big whopper, I call it. Their client got $425 million in court. That's a record, right? Do you have any idea what your case might be worth? If you have been injured, why not start a claim and find out? You can do it right from your phone, and it only takes 8 clicks. It is super easy. So if you're injured, here's what you can do. You can start a claim by going to forthepeople.com/Banfield. Again, forthepeople.com/Banfield. Or just click the link below or scan the QR code on your screen and find out what your case might be worth. Okay, back to the reporting. Let me just take a quick look. Brand new from NBC. They're working late. NBC News says, quote, investigators are not categorizing the Nancy Guthrie case as any particular type of crime at this stage, according to a federal law enforcement source with knowledge of the investigation. So not in the investigation, with knowledge of the investigation. The source said that there are, quote, a myriad of theories, end quote, but that authorities are not officially narrowing options to a specific one. Okay, so basically that tells me that NBC is kind of trying to knock down the Arizona family and the Associated Press reporting. But then also, it seems they may be knocking down their earlier report of the 2 sources saying they're leaning away from these people.
We've increased our capacity 5 times since 1980, but our energy consumption has
like
not
the video, fair use reaction clip.
They're leaning away from these people. Now they're saying they're not narrowing it to anything. I feel like I'm in a tennis match. This is nuts. But like I said, it's about 300 reporters at any given time down there, and everybody's trying to work their sources, and everybody knows somebody who says they are close to the investigation as well. So sometimes it's a bit of a game of telephone, but not only that, I will tell you this. Things can change, and they can change in a day. Investigators reserve the right to change their minds. I have said that since day one in this reporting that I've been giving you. Investigators can change their minds. They can.
Thanks for being here. You guys. Please get me to 100 likes. Please double tap the screen. Please hit the subscribe button. Yeah, Nancy looks gutted. She looks tired. She looks drained. She looks like, she looks gutted. I'm going to play this clip so y'all can hear what she said, because more and more people are coming in. She looks gutted.
I wanted to come on, and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on. I wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say that
next clip.
Whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late. To whoever has her or knows where she is, that it's never too late.
Next clip. Yeah, when you're not sleeping good and you're crying, it ages you.
And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing.
It's so sad.
And we are here. And you're not lost or alone.
Next clip.
We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late. We believe.
Yeah, she looks exhausted, crying, probably not sleeping properly, probably not eating properly. Thinking about, is her mom comfortable? Is she sleeping good? Is she eating okay? Does she have access to a bathroom? Do they have her in a bed? What's going on? Prayers for the mom for a safe return for the family. We get other people are saying, well, she did have, and hopefully she was able to take her medication. Hopefully she's been able to understand what to do if she doesn't have her Apple Watch, how to not stress herself. But that's a stressful situation. Someone entering your home, you don't have your Apple Watch. No alarm is going off. How did you get into my home? What's going on? What's going on? Why me? What is going on? And then, like I said, there was times that we didn't even know. There was no reports. The family didn't even know till the next morning. 9, 10, 11. You know what I'm saying? So for the mother saying, my goodness, does my family even know that I've been taken? Does my family even know I've been taken? Because who's to say she could hear the alleged people that possibly took her, 1 person, 2 person people, we don't know, but her hearing what's going on, her hearing, do they know? Okay, the family is going to pay the ransom. And then the alleged person saying, he know. And he wants the Bitcoin. He doesn't want the reward. So much is going on. And then the person saying they want the Bitcoin, they don't want the reward money, and y'all need to take me serious. And TMZ, do y'all feel that TMZ should have stepped back from the beginning? Do you feel that they should have just given the information to the sheriff, given the information to the FBI, and not say anything, and just be general? We've heard things, we know things, but to keep getting the notes, and he says, yeah, my goodness. Yeah, it's why would they not take the reward? This is the tip. This is where she is. It just seems insensitive for them to say, I don't want the reward. I want the Bitcoin, because some are saying that the Bitcoin traced, some are saying it can't be traced. Well, this should be able to be traced. You want the money? Give me whatever. That should be able to be traced. You get it, what bank, what day you got it, the time you got it, and what amount you want to transfer from this account, that account. If that is true, that's a concern too. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Please hit the subscribe button, you guys. Please hit the subscribe button. Yeah. And our date, you know what I'm saying? A lot of that information. And then for them to request a certain amount, and then they come back and request another amount. All these letters, people were like, TMZ, please step back. Because many people have called out TMZ in regards to how they handle stuff, the different stories, the Charlie Kirk situation. TMZ, what are your employees clapping about? People have been constantly questioning TMZ. The files being released. Is there a tie to that? Her interviewing people that was tied to the files. I got to be careful saying his name. What happened in regards to his sale? What happened? What's going on with Maxwell? People are saying, is he in another country? The pictures look interesting, but is that AI? In regards to Maxwell, is that her? Why does she look so different from this year, 6 months ago? There's a lot going on, y'all. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot of politicians that's tied to a lot. There's a lot going on. And there's a lot of media distraction, weird stuff going on too. Like the video. It's interesting. When they were talking about the signatures, we'll say this, when they were talking about the signatures for days and days and days and days, then unfortunately the Charlie Kirk situation happened. RIP to Charlie Kirk. But that whole situation, he was even talking about, did y'all know that? He was even talking about the files. He did stuff regarding to the files. The signature stuff was trending so much, and then all of a sudden the files is being released, and then this situation happened. So people are like, what? Luckily they did say that we're going to send help over there, but there's been a lot of side eye stuff, a lot of concerns. We didn't understand what was going on. We didn't understand what was going on. Why would you release the home back to the family? Why are pizza guys trying to ring the doorbell? Why is Amazon trying to deliver a package? They got the cleaning people cleaning the pool. There's been a lot of stuff. A lady with a dog walking up to the sheriff. That whole house should have been taped off. Because if you have that much traction going in and out of that location, they could have had footprints. They could have had more tire prints, a lot. And then releasing it back to the family 3 days later, and then they tape it back up. And then the FBI wants to do their thing. Side-eyeing. A lot of people are side-eyeing this investigation. Seeing the sheriff at a sporting event. They should have shouted him out there. What are you doing here? Go find Nancy. What are you doing here? Go find Nancy. Why are you at an event? Go find Nancy. So much stuff. And everyday people are side-eyeing. It's like, what in the world? Everyday people are asking general questions. What in the world? What is happening? Why did it take so long for the family to even be notified that she was missing? The family didn't even know until 11, 12 o'clock the next day. Alleged she was removed from the house. Situation probably started around 1 and 2 in the morning, a.m. So that's a concern. The garage door took time to close. Prayers for Nancy and her family. I could not even imagine. She looked gutted. She looks exhausted. She's probably not sleeping properly. She's probably concerned about, do they even know where her family is staying right now? A lot of the neighbors have to be concerned. If it could happen to her, 84, who's to say it couldn't happen to us? It doesn't seem like she had a dog. Yeah, a lot going on. Let's continue with the news. Fair use reaction clip. Prayers for Nancy for a safe return home to her family.
Zero in on one person, I've reported, and then they can completely change course. They're not telling us if they're doing that, and that's why they say we haven't named or identified any suspects. Obviously, they haven't identified them to us. Doesn't mean that they haven't identified them inside their ranks, and it doesn't mean that they don't change their...
Also, when they took the camera down, was there still audio of what he was saying? Was there still audio? And was there still video? Did he lay the camera thing down? Did he still have the camera thing in his pocket? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's so interesting. There's a lot of people in here. 249. Please hit the subscribe button, you guys. 249. We're trying to cover this case the best way possible. Prayers for Nancy for a safe return. A lot of people are looking at this saying, People have older parents. I need to do the alarm system. I need to have a camera in the home. I need to make sure there's a y'all. I don't know if y'all know this. There's alleged whether she had a subscription in regards to the Ring camera. You got to have a subscription. It took them a while to get the Ring camera information because alleged not a subscription. They still were able to get the information from Google, I guess, and that's how the police got the video camera of him with the mask on. But have a subscription, have an alarm system, have a camera in the parent's home. She is 84 and she wanted to possibly live by herself. Older people sometimes don't want to live with their kid, and the daughter and the spouse. Sometimes older people say, I have more peace over here. I don't want to deal with y'all day to day. Been there, done that. And she seen, and some are saying, did she have a caregiver? How often did the caregiver come and pick her up, take her to go, you know, take her to go get prescriptions, help her around the house? Where's the caregiver? Who is the caregiver? How long has the caregiver been in Nancy's life? Does she have a morning caregiver? Does she have a night caregiver? Does she have an afternoon caregiver? Or is it a family friend that just checks on her? There's a lot we don't know. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Prayers for Nancy to be returned back home to her family. Let's continue.
Mind. So just keep an open mind on this one, everybody. And then take a deep breath, and also patience. It's a real virtue in this. Okay. Next up. I don't know if you've had the same thought. It's just my musings. Where the hell have the bloodhounds been?
Yes.
And the cadaver dogs. And I hate even saying that, but I think we have to think that way. Where have all the dogs been? I have not seen evidence of that kind of work. I haven't seen bloodhounds. I've seen people searching. I haven't seen
I thought there was bloodhounds. I can't confirm or deny. I thought there was bloodhounds day 1 or 2 or 3, right, y'all? Y'all let me know. Didn't y'all see video? I thought we saw video of bloodhounds. Right or wrong? Let me know. Maybe she right. Fair use reaction clip.
Bloodhounds. I haven't seen those kinds of dogs, and I'm just a little surprised by it. Again, I go back to the first few days of this entire saga.
Yeah, we've been talking about Life Alert, the one that goes around your neck, and then if you're trying to sleep, maybe they put it on a nightstand. Yeah, Life Alert is important. Life Alert when she became older and started. Yeah, I'm wondering if she had that too. Like the video, or were they depending on the Apple Watch only? But if the Apple Watch is being charged, is the Apple Watch being charged by her bed and they notice the Apple Watch and they grab that before Nancy could even grab it? You know what I mean? Like the video. Fair use reaction clip.
Where the sheriff said we called up the search permanently unless or until, something's warranted. I was shocked then, shocked now. But we haven't seen that. We just haven't seen a lot of dogs. It's not that we haven't seen any. We just haven't seen them en masse. Not at a level that I thought we would or we should.
Yeah.
Cadaver dogs in particular at this point, I think that they should have those out there. But I just feel so disheartened at we're entering into week 3 now. And it's just really hard. And especially when you see Savannah and just how gut-wrenching this is for her and her family. And I end with this. Why are we all so invested, right? Why? What is it about this story that has us so incredibly invested? The New York Times has talked about it being everybody's mom. I get that. But there's something else that it occurred to me today. And I talked about the everybody's mom in the episode last night, if you go back to it, how we just all feel a kinship to this 84-year-old vulnerable woman. Who does this? Who took her?
Right.
But it's the who does this. That's what I'm really drilling in on today. This is the question. Honest to God, who?
The Ultimate RV Show is returning to Huntington Place in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, the dog should have been able to, sniff that out. Did they try to take her to the back? Yeah, I get what she's saying about the dogs. Like the video.
Does this? This is the question that connects us all on a story that we can't shake as a nation, right? Even as a global community. Because if you're watching this from overseas, thank you. But I get it. We're all humans, right? And we just can't understand how someone can be so far outside the flock, right? Here's us. We're here. We're in this group. This is us. And then here are the motherfuckers that do shit like this. The Brian Kobergers of the world that do stuff like this, right? The Jeffrey Dahmers of the world, the Gacy's. All of these people are so far outside the flock. And when someone does this, the question that binds us all and makes a story like this, capture our attention to the point where we're obsessed with it, is that simple phrase, who does this?
Who does it?
We said it in Idaho, right? We said it when we just couldn't believe that somebody would do this to 4 innocent kids. Who does this? It's the same principle that's connecting us now to the Nancy Guthrie story. Yes, Savannah Guthrie is famous, I know. Yes, Mrs. Guthrie is 84 and vulnerable, and we're all devastated, but it isn't as though this doesn't happen to a lot of people. And I've heard a lot of your comments as well. Why so much attention to this particular woman when there's so many people who are victims of crime? I get it. It's just sometimes there's a mystery that nobody can get their heads around.
Right.
They just can't get their heads around it. And this is one of those. Who does this? And can we, as a community, solve it and bring justice to Savannah and her family? Anyway, that's how I feel. And I've done a lot of this, right? I've done so many of these stories, and we all wonder, wow, what is it about this story that has us all, coming together as one? And I really do believe that's the binding principle for many of them. We are the ones inside the flock. And by the way, I'm very...
Okay, so there is a billboard with her name, her face, a number to call. So there is the billboard up there. I think that was week 2.
glad that you're in my flock. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for being a subscriber. If you didn't subscribe, please do that. And thank you for listening.
Yeah, subscribe.
Social media post.
Hold on. Like the video. We're going to continue with the news, and then we're going to do hot topics, trending topics.
A glove worn by the suspect in a video. That's according to the FBI. We're going to be joined now by Fox 10's Irene Snyder. She is live down in Tucson, Arizona, with more details. Irene, what do we know as we head into another week of the search?
Yeah, getting so much attention because who her daughter is. Because we're all like, how? How is it that y'all didn't know that she was missing for that amount of time? How is it that we're not hearing about her alarm? How are we not hearing about how they had... How is it that she's 84 living alone? And how is it there's no cameras in her home where y'all guys saw somebody talking to her? Listen, how is it? Famous news reporter, famous newscaster. How is it that? And then how is it that the sheriff is handling this in the way that they're handling? There is, I'm sure, a checklist. There's a checklist and there's a way to handle stuff, and we're questioning how there's so many missing links, holes. We're questioning a lot of stuff that's not making no sense. How is it that you give the family back the home 2 days later, 3 days later, and you saying y'all got all that you need? And I don't even know if the FBI was a part of it then yet. Like the video. So concerning.
Well, investigators are still searching for possible leads, and so far there is no sign of Nancy.
Well, see, if they have cameras inside the house, we should have been able to see that as well. I'm not saying that is possible, but a lot of people don't feel that there was an alarm that went off. A lot of people feel that there was no camera because we would have seen that too. And if that should have been, and maybe there's stuff that they're holding on that we don't know about. There's information they have we don't have. But the family did not know. This is very clear. The family did not know she was missing until the next morning, until somebody said where she was supposed to be at, she wasn't there. That's concerning. Very concerning that the family did not know. And how scary for the mom if she was alert about what's going on. There's no media coverage about this. They still don't know I'm gone from the home. My family still don't know I'm missing. So concerning. Me and another person was talking about that. Prayers for the mom. How scary that is. And then 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That day, then there was news and media covering Savannah's mom is missing. She was taken, or she was abducted, or there's blood on the steps by the door. And then many people, that was like day 2 when they found and they talked about the blood by the door. I think that was day 2. I don't think that was day 3. But yeah, let's continue fair use reaction clip.
Guthrie
so
or any
concerning.
suspect. They've been looking through thousands of tips ever since that surveillance video came through over the last week.
Yeah, some of the time frames have changed. Some of the information. Was she at church? Did she attend church? Or was she at a group setting watching church and talking about church? You know what I'm saying? So much misinformation. Allow the right information to go out so the community knows what and where and how. And was there properly dogs sniffing the neighborhood, her house, behind the house? Why were they using a big old stick to check the septic tank or main drain? Or it was a big old hole. You know, what was that all about? Were they trying to get DNA? Were they concerned? And did it seem like it was dragged back there? There's not a lot of press conferences. We get it that sometimes they don't want him speaking now. Please stop talking. You know what I mean? People being detained, then released. So much. Thanks
Right
for
now,
being here.
one of their biggest clues and possibly the key to the case.
People give a care. Why are people weird? People care. There was one page that got 1 million views within one day. People care. And they're evaluating how they should handle things regarding their parents. They're trying to evaluate things how they should handle things for themselves. Living with a spouse, not living with a spouse, a woman living by herself, a man living by himself, health concerns, life alert, no life alert. If your Apple Watch is charging, what's the next alert system have? Like the videos you guys come in. Don't be insensitive. Praying for Nancy to be returned back to her family.
Is that black glove? We've been seeing that circulating over social media. So many people posting about it and possible DNA evidence. So that black glove was found just about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. That's here in the Catalina foothills, just outside of Tucson. And the FBI says the glove appears to match the glove worn by the suspect.
Okay, you guys, let's get to some hot topics, trending topics. Let's switch it up. Let me put this next thing. Let me see.
Has her give that lady back. It's time. You're not getting your Bitcoin. Give that lady back to her family. They miss her. They need her. And at this point, it's a wrap. But apparently, this is how we do things in 2026: is we just do videos on social media talking directly to the kidnappers or the ransomers or whoever took her. I know you're watching this. I know you're watching social media and you're like, whoa, I'm gonna get caught. You're not getting your Bitcoin, homie. Like it's a wrap. You're not getting your 6 million. Just bring that lady home, okay? I don't know why we don't have search dogs. I don't know why we don't have people marching in the streets. I don't know why we don't have people digging through all the brush out in Arizona. Where is the search team? Where are the cadavers? Where are anything? We literally have nothing and no one, but we keep going. Annie, if this is you, girl, knock it off. Okay, if it is you, like this.
Okay, so then that's when I said I gotta be careful. This is his page. Go listen to what he has to say about everything. He's questioning a lot of stuff, and I get it. Since I saved it, now I'm seeing a lot of his videos. So that's what I was telling y'all earlier. Go listen to what he has to say about this whole situation. I'm covering it because I'm trying to see what else. Okay, so this is the home. I'm gonna cut that off. This is the home. I'm sure you've seen it by now. I think they're showing. There's reporters out there. There's been people out there for days.
In the doorbell surveillance video, it was sent off for DNA testing. The FBI has received initial results, and right now they're waiting on official confirmation before putting the unknown male profile into CODIS. That's the FBI managed database that enables labs to compare DNA profiles electronically. The FBI saying the process typically takes 24 hours from when the Bureau receives the DNA. A former FBI agent telling Fox 10 there's also resources that can expand the DNA search to family members, so even if the suspect isn't in the system, it could lead investigators still to them or at least to a name. Now, Nancy Guthrie's daughters, of course, Today Show host Vanna Guthrie, she's posted several times on social media, sometimes with her siblings, very emotional, pleading, asking the public for help. And in her latest video posted on Instagram just yesterday, she is saying that the family is still holding out on hope that Nancy, their mom, will be returned to them.
To whoever has her or knows where she is. But it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing. To do the right thing.
County Sheriff's Department also confirming someone's DNA was found on Nancy Guthrie's property. The DNA did not belong to Nancy or someone in close contact with her. So the reward for Nancy Guthrie, safe return her information leading to an arrest, has doubled from originally it was $50,000, now up to $100,000. So really a lot of questions here this morning as far as the Sheriff's Department and the FBI. We don't know anything about any more press conferences. The last we heard, there was one 2 Thursdays ago, I believe it was at this point, and they said they're not going to have another press conference until there is more information to share. We'll send it back to you for now.
Now, Irene, before I let you go, I do see that behind you there is a law enforcement vehicle. Tell me, what is the
This moment, do we expect more investigators and more searchers to filter in throughout the day, and what's it looking like?
Well, as far as here at the home, I've been here over the past several days, I think almost 10 times over the last couple of weeks. And the sheriff's department has been out here at least for the last week now. So this officer, at least one officer, has been out here from the sheriff's department every single day that we've been here. They've changed out officers, obviously. But I think part of it is there's a lot of media here. Last week, I think it went viral on social media, you know, a pizza delivery driver going up to the home. They're just making sure that the home is safe for the family's sake as well. No one's going out there tampering with any evidence so that, you know, the area can be secure.
All right, Irene Snyder with our team at Fox 10 in Phoenix. Thanks so much for your time as we continue to follow this story. We'll check in with you later. Let's talk a little bit more about the developments that we have there. So Irene, she did mention in her report that, of course, a glove was found nearby Nancy Guthrie's home. DNA has been found. It has been tested. And investigators believe that DNA does belong to a suspect that they're still searching for. No suspect or person of interest has been named as of yet. And as Irene just mentioned, we haven't had a press conference from the Pima County Sheriff's Department or other investigators in about almost 2 weeks' time. Now, they said they were not going to do a press conference until they had more information to share or something more concrete. We've also heard that several departments, not just the Sheriff's Department, but also FBI offices, they have continued to receive tips from the public, tens of thousands of tips that they are still combing through to see where they lead them. And then the latest being from Savannah Guthrie, who did issue that recent video on her Instagram page. Taking a look here at a social media post courtesy of Fox News, where they also show a screen capture of the video. It says Savannah Guthrie releases new video of missing mom, where she says, quote, "I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late and you are not lost or alone. It is never too late to do the right thing, and we are here and we believe in the essential goodness of every human being." We also have live images just outside of Nancy Guthrie's home as several media outlets, not just the team at Fox 10 in Phoenix, but also nationally, they are covering the story, following it very closely. So you can see here the media presence does continue as we wait for any break in the case. You can be sure to stay with us here at Live Now from Fox. All of those details we will provide for you as soon as we get them. In the meantime, though, we are going to step away for another quick commercial break. More of your top stories when we come back.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Noon today, the United Nations is also going to host their daily briefing just to provide some updates ahead of those talks between U.S. and Iranian.
Hey, this is Kenny from 180 Contractors.
Hold on. Hold on, everyone. So annoyed right now. People are not doing their doggone jobs, and it's driving me. Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Okay, they're doing an update right now. Let me.
Between the agencies and the possible withholding of information and information between the two agencies, even though that has been publicly denied at this point. What I find the most interesting about this is that, in essence, are you telegraphing your strategies now to the public? I find this case to be widely peculiar in that we're not getting regular updates, but the updates that we are getting are providing us insight as to where the investigation is focused, including right now with the gloves, and then with the signal sniffer. And I'm thinking, is it strange to you? Is it hitting the ear funny to you as it's hitting the ear funny to me that the investigators are okay with the public finding out about their game plan here, the strategy? I mean, it's almost as if you have two football teams and you're making the playbook public. Is it bad to be tipping off a potential suspect as to what they're using as far as DNA and a low-flying helicopter with a signal sniffer, and putting that information out there? Because we have to assume that any suspect out there is following you and following the media at large.
Yeah, it's a good point. And we're trying to be careful with what we report. I mean, you know how it is when you're out on scenes, there's things you see and hear that don't report for that reason. And the last thing that I would ever want to do, or hopefully any responsible journalist would ever want to do, is, interfere with the investigation. Because at the end of the day, everybody just wants to see Nancy come home in some kind of resolution. My sense is there's a lot going on that we're not reporting on, that we don't know about. Like, for example, the signal sniffer. I just reported that yesterday. Sorry, someone's honking. I just reported that yesterday, and that was used last week. So there was a bit of a delay in us reporting that, and I'm not sure they're even still using it. The helicopter I haven't seen up around the house in days. And in terms of some of the DNA stuff that's coming out, I sense there's a lot that we don't know. So I think the stuff that they're releasing is stuff that they're okay with the public knowing. But I bet there's, tons of stuff that they're doing that we're not reporting on that they would prefer, stay secret right now.
Hi, Brian. It's Garrett Phillips, producer here for the Stream Center. And I just wanted to follow up on this signal sniffer here that they talked about. So is this something that has been used before in similar cases? I know that this is not necessarily a case that has a lot of similar parallels, but is this something that has helped solve cases before? I mean, this is truly the first time I've ever heard about it. So I'm just thinking the audience might want a little bit more of a follow-up on that.
Yeah, I've never heard of it until this case. It was sent in by the FBI, so it's not something that they had here locally. And I actually saw a picture of it. It's a small little box. It's not big at all. It's maybe like 10 inches by 6 inches. And they attach it to the skid. It's actually usually used on drones, but the day that they were using it here, I'm told it was too windy to have a drone up, so they used the helicopter, and they attached it to one of the skids of the helicopter. It's just a little box. And it has to be, the helicopter has to stay steady and it has to stay low, which when I saw that helicopter that day, I didn't know anything about the signal sniffer. And I was wondering what was going on because the helicopter was low and it was not moving around a lot. It was just staying, like in one spot. And it turns out that's because they were using the signal sniffer. And basically they hover over an area, and I'm told it has to hover in one spot for at least 3 minutes. And it can pick up signals from Nancy Guthrie's pacemaker. But it also, what makes it like kind of not a perfect science is it also picks up other signals. So I'm told by someone on the ground here who was part of this whole operation when they were using it, that it was picking up all sorts of stuff. I mean, it was seeing our AirPods, reporters' AirPods. It was seeing like smart washer and dryers that have Bluetooth. So it's not like it's like I said, it's imperfect. That's the way it was described to me. But it's a cool tool. I mean, and they may use it again. And if they get right over a spot where Nancy Guthrie is, the hope is that it would pick up her pacemaker.
Hi, Brian. Josh Scott here. You having followed all of the cases that you have in the past, and with everything that's happened here, I feel like we talked about that tone Friday night. We thought maybe there was a break in the case here. Now it feels like maybe there wasn't as much significance to that. What is the tone or vibe of the investigation right now? Does it feel like maybe they have confidence in a certain direction, or does it feel like they're kind of waiting for something to break here?
I mean, I felt a little bit of both, depending on which day. Right now, I'm hopeful, like I said, that something maybe is going to break soon, or there's going to be another big update just because of all the DNA that they've gathered.
Right.
Because I'm told they've likely started like ancestral DNA process, which, is huge. So my sense right now, I have hope right now. And people have said, "Oh, is it a cold case?" I mean, I don't think it's cold because look, I mean, it wasn't that long ago we got the images from the doorbell camera, from the Google Nest camera, which was huge. And now they're starting to look into, there's reporting now that the clothes came from Walmart in addition to the backpack. So, this is going to take time as they go to all the Walmarts in the area and try to find out who bought that backpack, who bought those clothes, who bought the gloves. So it's definitely not a cold case by any means. So I'm hopeful right now. I feel pretty hopeful.
Yeah.
Brian, as a follow-up here to that DNA question, actually, I had seen reports from NBC News that authorities were leaning away from family members at this time involving obviously the Guthries. Is that because of DNA results? I know that they had swabbed a lot of people in and around the home. So I just wanted to know if that report was because of DNA results or if that's what you're hearing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I saw that report too. I don't know why they're reporting that. I would assume part of it is from DNA results and just the rest of the investigation. I always, I'm interested in the NBC News reports and when they have sources, just because, as we know, I mean, Savannah Guthrie is a longtime NBC anchor, and I would imagine, they're also in communication with her. So, I'm very interested in the things that they report according to sources. So I don't know where that reporting came from. I would imagine it's partially because of DNA swabs and just, the rest of the investigation. And at the same time, I mean, the sheriff has said every day, as recently as last night, that they're also not ruling anyone out at this point. So I think we just have to kind of wait and see.
All right, so what we're going to do here for the next 10 minutes here with Brian Enton here on the live stream here, folks, is we're just going to now just start looking at your questions. And you can punch in your questions to heyjb.live. We're only taking...
So, yeah, I mean, there has to be updates because people need to know what is going on. They need to know the clues of what's going on. A lot of people didn't really care for what TMZ was reporting. This person is seeking this. They don't want the reward. Many people are a little frustrated with TMZ, rightfully so. Should all that have just came from the FBI? Not a lot of press conferences. People are being detained, then released. What information did you have to detain them? So let's continue with the news, you guys. I'm glad I was able to update you guys on pretty much everything. Hold on.
Guthrie, where is Savannah? Where is Annie? Like, this whole family just went and disappeared. Like, first they were all in this together and they were doing videos together, and then it was just...
Okay, so that's who I'm telling y'all to go listen to his clips. I get what he's doing. I get what he's saying. I don't want to seem insensitive, but some of the stuff and he's asking, I get. But go over there, listen to him. Okay, Michael Jordan, I have to do hot topics, trending topics. Michael Jordan is being called out, and I'm going to show y'all why he's being called out. I'm going to show y'all in a minute what the heck and why. We're going to get to it. So I'm going to show you clips. This is him day one.
Who steals somebody's mother? There's a ransom. They really kidnapped somebody's grandma. Oh, snap. They brought in the FBI guy. Shit's getting real. Where is Nancy? Today's the deadline. They have to find her by today. They have to find her by today. It was the sister. It had to be the sister. Look at her eyes. And Tommaso? Who spells Tomas with an extra O?
No, it's not the sister.
Okay, where is Nancy? She is not in the septic tank. And why is the sheriff at a basketball game? Why is Savannah not up in the cash money? Damn it, I'm gonna go find this damn lady myself. Who is the man on the porch? Man eyes, those are not lady eyes. It has to be, it's the son-in-law. It has to be.
It's not.
They just found a glove
It's not
in
the
her
son-in-law.
yard this whole time. Did they find her yet? No? Okay. They took Savannah Guthrie's mother? Who steals somebody's mother?
So that's the page
There's
I'm
a
telling
ransom.
you.
They really kidnapped somebody's grandma. Oh, snap. They brought in the FBI guy. Shit's getting real. Where is Nancy? Today's the deadline. They have to find her by today. They have to find her by today. It was the sister. It had to be the sister. Look at her eyes. And Tomas.
It's not the sister.
Tomas with an extra O. Think about it. Okay, where is Nancy? She is not in the septic tank. And why is the sheriff at a basketball game? Why is Savannah not up in the cash money? Damn it, I'm gonna go find this damn lady myself. Who is the man on the porch? I'm telling you, those are man eyes. Those are not lady eyes. It has to be. It's the son-in-law. It has to be. They just found a glove in her yard this whole time. Did they find her yet? No? Okay. They took Savannah.
So that's who, there, he has other clips, but that one, it gave a breakdown of what was happening day by day. Okay. We got to talk Michael Jordan. We're doing hot topics, trending topics right now, you guys. Please hit subscribe. Please hit subscribe, you guys. We're trying to hit 50K. We are about 3,000, 4,000 away from 50K. We got to hit this 50K, y'all. We should have been hit it. Do y'all see the numbers I'm getting? Please hit subscribe. Help your girl out. To subscribe is free. To hit the like button is free. Let's get the likes up to 100. I've been live for 2 hours and 20-something minutes. We should already been at 200, 300. We should already been at 300 likes. Let's get the likes up. I don't want my show to start going slow, and I don't want to start being monotone. Y'all get a lot of information on this side. I try and update you on what people are saying, what's being talked about. I have to get the likes up. Thank you for the gifted, though. People were sending gifted. Send in super chats. We have different questions. Send in super chats. Support the page by subscribing. That's free. Support the page by liking. That's free. Okay, y'all, we got to talk Michael Jordan. We're doing hot topics, trending topic. Y'all see that? Oh my God. Y'all see the picture. Y'all see the picture. Y'all see? Y'all see? Now, guess what? I'm about to show you the video. Like the video. Why is Michael Jordan doing this? Watch his hand. Why? Why are you touching the boy like that? And then you want to touch his leg. What are you doing? Is he drunk? Is he drunk? Grab. Touch his leg. Is he drunk? And if he is, his wife needs to get him. Grab. Why are you touching that boy like that? Did y'all know that? People were talking about it yesterday, and I said, is there a video? What is going on with Michael Jordan? One of the baddest, one of the top basketball players ever in the world. Is he drunk? Where's his wife? Grab. Why? Touch his leg. What the heck is going on? Why is he? I know. What is going on? And why isn't the man in the jacket saying stop? Leave my child alone. He looked at him and let him still do it. Did y'all see this guy right here? He watched him do it. Watch him look down. Watch. He see him doing it. Tell him to stop. What are you doing? And why are you touching his leg? Is he drunk? Where's the child, mama? Where's the child daddy? I don't know if the child daddy is the one that's drinking something, or I don't know if that's a newscaster. Stop. What are you doing? Please stop. Are you not telling him to stop because he's Michael Jordan? What is going on? Very bizarre. Pat him on the back. Are you excited? Are you happy? What is going on? What is, and then why? What is going on? I thought somebody was kidding when they said this. Very bizarre, very bizarre. Did somebody put something in this man's drink? You touching his behind, you touching his leg. What the heck? I'm not answering another one. What is going on? What is going on? And why isn't the man in the jacket? He's the closest one. The other guy that's here, his back is kind of turned. But the man in the jacket with the blue tie, why aren't you saying, Michael, you all right? You good? You good? This is why a lot of people, when you see something, say something. When you see something weird, stop it. Stop it. The kid, the first touch, somebody should have said, bro, stop. What is going on here? He see it. You smiling? You smile. You're not telling Michael to stop? Why aren't you telling Michael to stop? Where's the father? Where's the mother? What? I'll be telling y'all, there is a lot going on. A lot going on. Michael Jordan draws backlash over the interaction with the child during the Daytona 500 victory celebration. Where's your wife? You're celebrating, but why and what is going on? You grabbed him several times, not just once. Where are the parents? Are you intoxicated, Michael? And if you are, your wife should be next to you. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff. Ruin his legacy, basically. You intoxicated, bro? Why you grabbing that young child like that? Don't you think that's going to mess him up? Hello? Aren't you the one that Michael Jordan... Could you imagine how that child felt? That his parents have to say, well, what happened to you tonight was unacceptable, and we're sorry that it happened. The parents had to say something. Well, what do you mean, Dad? He's like one of the legends of the world. Why was he doing that to me? Why was he touching me like that? Not just once, several times. Let's count. Let's see if we can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rubbing of the legs several times. How the mighty has fallen. You got it right. How the mighty has fallen. But let's say this too. Remember, go back a year ago. Was it his son that was caught on camera? What was the son doing? Wasn't it the son in daylight, not caring? Go look at the video of the son a year ago. Got caught. He had broke up with Larsa Pittman like 2 years ago. And remember, Michael had said, he didn't really care for Larsa Pittman dating the son. But remember the son. Remember the son caught daylight. People took pictures, sent pictures in, and then remember the son got pulled over and he was trying to put his car on the railroad track. Go look up Michael Jordan's son and his weird behavior last year. Michael Jordan's son had 2 weird situations last year. What is going on? No, where's the mama? Where's the daddy? And why is the guy in the jacket not telling Michael to stop? I'm not certain if the guy drinking the beer can really see what's actually happening. He has to see it. He has to see Michael's hand near there. That ain't no celebration. You should be doing that to a child. Yeah, who's the guy in the purple? And whether it's purple or whether it's pink with the blue tie, blue pants, why aren't you stopping it? Michael, hey, chill out. Michael, please stop. Back up, Mike. And we can't, I don't know if there's other people behind there. But then he kind of looks like, what's going on? You touching my leg, you touching. My goodness. There's so much going on in Hollywood, sports people, actors, male actors, female actors, so much going on in the church, so much going on in politics. If he's intoxicated, his wife should have let him go home. If he's intoxicated, these men should have stopped it. The guy, and I'm wondering, I haven't heard yet. I'm wondering if the guy in the jacket and the tie, if he's going to do a interview saying, he's Michael. No, dude, you're the grown up that's supposed to help the child if the parent isn't around. I don't know if the parent is the guy that's drinking it. I don't know. Or the guys that's drinking and taking the pictures. I don't know. But I'm wondering if the kid is there by his father and the father is just so excited about whatever. The man in the jacket should be saying, stop, Michael, quit, Michael. Michael shouldn't be doing it anyway, period. Nobody should have to tell Michael to stop. Weirdo. Don't touch kids. Keep your hand to yourself. If anybody touched the guy with the jacket, we still wouldn't want that. But don't touch the kids. The kids are off limit. Children are off limits. Stop, weirdos. And the times of the files and stuff that happens at churches. Michael, what is really going on with you and your son? Go look it up. You're going to be shocked about stuff regarding his son. I don't want to give the name. You can look it up. Michael Jordan's son. At dinner, he did XYZ. Michael Jordan's son gets pulled over. All this stuff happened with his son last year. Now Michael Jordan, don't touch the kids. I can't wait to see if the dude does an interview. Yeah, I should have stopped it. My goodness. Let's continue with the news, y'all. Hot topics, trending topics. Let's continue. Okay, we're going to talk about this too. Hot topics, trending topics. Zane said something about giving the child $500 for the first tooth. Let me just do y'all and give y'all a general update. Last week, there was a person that did a video in regards to certain celebrities that are named in the files. And we talked about it last week. And I had said, there's a person that did a video talking about celebrities being in the files. 1 day, 2 days later, Zane wanted to separate himself from G, basically saying in an interview 1 or 2 days later, after allegedly her name was mentioned. I'm not going to go into details of how her name was mentioned because I can't imagine how she feels about her name being mentioned. It's emails. Go look it up. So she's named in the files. 1 or 2 days later, Zane does an interview. He's trying to separate, saying whether he really loved her. So now a lot of the guys that dated her are like, oh my goodness, this is what she experienced. And a lot of the guys are probably feeling sad. But Zane has a baby by Gigi. So his PR team, his management might have said, you need to separate yourself. But he's the child's father. So now we're going to constantly probably hear different stories about Zane and Gigi because they're trying to change the media narrative. Prayers go out to Gigi. Prayers go out to the other sister. Prayers go out to the Hadids. When you look at the emails, it's emails. When you look at the emails and what was said, so concerning. So concerning. Can't confirm or deny if it's true or false. But there's a person that did a video last week. It showed the Hadid sisters and it showed Epstein in the middle. There was another family that was talked about last week. And I'm surprised many people are not talking about that. I'm surprised many people haven't spoke about that. That might be why that person's dating that person, because their name was mentioned too. And we talked about this last week as well. Even though a person's named in the files, you got to see what the email is talking about. You got to see what the email is talking about. So there are people that are talking about the emails. So prayers go out to the Hadid sisters. So concerning. We may continue to hear how he wants to separate himself from Gigi. Prayers go out to Gigi.
Much money from the tooth fairy.
So it's from the whole interview. So more and more is coming out in regards to him not feeling like he loved her, alleged, and then the tooth fairy. So they're breaking down what's happening from that interview. So let's continue. Lunel, it's being reported that Lunel and what's his name? I'm trying to remember his name. I'll be sure. They're saying they're dating. She was there for him when he became ill. I think Lunel lost her partner of many years. I want to say last year, the year before. So it's being reported that they're dating. I'll be sure, who was one of the finest back in the day. Thanks for subbing. Yeah, my page a little different, but I do what I do. So there's Lunel and I'll be sure. I'll be sure has been through a lot. Lunel has been through a lot. She has been writing for him since all that he had been through. He's been through a lot. And if y'all know the Albie Shore, Kim Porter, Diddy stuff, y'all know. So they're stating they announced it, I think, I want to say either a week or two ago. So there's that. We're just doing hot topics, trending topics, y'all. Let me see. I gotta save this too. We talked about Nancy. We're just doing hot topics, trending topics. There was one other thing I had to save. I think I saved it. Okay, let's see what else we were going to talk about. It's being reported, can't confirm or deny. It's being reported Kris Jenner, $3.5 million house, keeping up. It's been on the market for a year. I'm not surprised. They're saying that house has been on the market, alleged, for a year. Good vibes, bad vibes. You could decide to live, not live. Many people may not want to be tied to, having their house filmed and it looks similar to what their house was filmed in. A lot of people don't want a house that people filmed in, or situations happened, or the girls were getting into or acting up, or Chloe was pulling one sister here, or you know what I'm saying? Rob this. Scott this. So if it's on the market, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised one of the kids won't buy it and get it off the market. But that's what's being alleged. It's been on the market. You better believe somebody's gonna buy it now. Here's the video again, Michael. Everybody's talking about it. Why? Why are you touching his leg? Why are you touching him? I can't play the clip because there's either music or people talking. And the guy in the jacket notices it and he's doing nothing. Don't touch the kids. Don't mess with the kids. Leave the kids alone. Okay, so we're going to generally talk about the Vlad situation.
Ago, I said, and I asked, On my podcast, one of my guests.
Okay, let's talk Vlad. I want to say Saturday night, Vlad put out a post in regards to his thoughts, and then people said Vlad was trolling. So I'm going to let her talk about it. Is Vlad looking for media attention, clicks, and views, or is he trying to tell the truth without telling the truth? Is he really trolling? What's going on, Vlad? Why do you want to trend right now, Vlad?
A couple years ago, I said, and I asked on my podcast, one of my guests, I think Vlad is the feds, as in Vlad, DJ Vlad, Vlad TV. I said then, I don't trust him. I don't think he's for the Black community, and I think he's the feds.
I can't confirm or deny.
No, you got it all wrong. Vlad, a couple years ago, I said,
next
and
clip.
I asked, that is cool. I'm not going to say much more. You tell me what you think. Just watch. Just stay silent. Watch everything that's going on. Remember, Cherry warned y'all a long time ago. Vlad is the feds. I said I would never
can't
do
confirm
a
if he's a fed. Okay. So right now he's talking about people being detained. Go watch the video. Give his show some support. I get he's trying to enlighten people of the breakdown. So go watch his show. Listen to what he has to say. Where he did the breakdown that he did regards to the days. I mean, serious. He's talking about it. He's definitely talking about it. Megan Kelly, Sam today for, I'm not going to go there. He's talking about it. He's talking about the Bitcoin. So you want something to listen to, the breakdown, what's going on, why certain stuff is said. Like the videos you guys come in. We're just doing some updates, trending topics, hot topics. I kind of want to go the other way. Like the videos you guys come in. I want to go the other way now. There was other stuff above that I wanted to cover. Like the video, yes, I cover it up because there's certain things I don't want to show, but then some of the clips are right behind each other, so I kind of cover it up. Like the video, fair use reaction clip. We did talk about Nancy spoke out. We already talked about that. That's where I left off. Like the videos you guys come in. I'm trying to see, there was other stuff. JD Vance is giving blasted response. There's some stuff that went on with regards to the Olympics. Many people were talking about Kim, Lewis, his old team, his new team. Can the good vibes, bad vibes bring them together? Why is she announcing she's dating him now? Sometimes when I have to show a clip about Kim and Lewis, I might show this one. But yeah, a lot going on. Why is he dating her? Why now? And remember, years ago, can't confirm or deny how long ago, but allegedly he dated Kendall. Now he wants to date Kim. They're stating at some point he is going to retire. But it's interesting. Kim wants to date somebody that might have dated the sister. The sisters won't date each other baby daddies. But how would the sister feel about trying to date Kanye? How would the sisters feel about trying to date Tristan? So they want to date and go viral about people that a sister has dated. Interesting, because it's being alleged that Lewis dated Kendall. It's being alleged that the game was a part of dating the sisters. I don't know. It's being alleged that the girls dated Odell. So Kendall was tied to Lewis. Chloe was tied to Odell. Kim was best friends with Black China. Kylie wanted to date Tyga. Alleged Larsa was trying to date Tristan, and then Chloe then started dating Tristan. So there's a lot going on. It's yucky. And then when you look at them at the Super Bowl, Kim was not going to let Kendall dance in front of them. Kim made sure she sat in front of Kendall. She needed to make sure. Because could you imagine Lewis cutting his eyes and looking at Kendall dancing? Kim would have been mad at that. Kim had to sit in front of Kendall. She had to. Kendall had to be behind them. But it is what it is. Kim has made a decision to date Lewis. Now, mind you, Lewis was friends with Kanye. So this is the second alleged person. Lewis was friends with Kanye. Pete was friends with Kanye. And Kim is dating people that were possibly friends with Kanye. Be careful who you date. Be careful who you have children by. The Kardashian girls are expected to date, period. The girls are expected to date. The mom can be in a whole relationship for years. Look at Kris Jenner's relationship with Bruce, who's now respectfully Caitlyn. Look at that whole situation. Kris Jenner and Bruce. And Bruce said she might have alleged knew, and she's still stuck in there with me. The Kardashian love men that might help them trend and go viral. They love it. They love it. Kim, Kanye, Kim, Ray J, Kylie, Timothy, Kylie, Tyga, Kylie, Travis Scott, Chloe, Tristan, Chloe, Lamar. Shall I go on? Courtney, Scott. They love it's an unhealthy situation. So why men want to date? I don't know if men want to trend and go viral. Good vibes, bad vibes. These men are making decisions, and then the Kardashians like to talk about the exes. The exes could be in a whole new relationship. Look at Pete. Pete was in a whole different relationship, and Kim loved talking about Pete. Pete was happy, was expecting a baby. Kim wanted to mention Pete again. It's interesting. So why men choose it? It's their whatever. Kendall shading the exes, good vibe, bad vibes, and then there was a Super Bowl. People were laughing about that. People, please. A lot going on. A lot going on. Megyn Kelly had something to say, but I'm not gonna play it. What she said, I can't do it. Certain stuff I can't say, y'all. I can't say. Candace.
He got finished with his burger, and he just sat there, and he looked at me, and he's like, you know what? I'm not going to hire you. I was like, that's fine. I don't need this job. I'm doing plenty of other things here in Manhattan. He's like, I'm going to date you.
Okay, so this is a job interview, and I'm going to show you one more example of this. She tells Megyn Kelly this on stage, and this is even after his assassination. So take a listen.
When I met Charlie, the only reason I sat down with him because I thought it was a consulting position for work. I did not date in Manhattan. I saw the pits of hell of the dating pool through my roommates.
She dated a lot.
So I can tell you, going back in my text messages with Charlie, that this date thing happened September of 2018. We discussed it. Like I said, I was basically like his wingman. And very much enjoyed that. I was very pro Erica and him getting together. I can say that as well. So Charlie interviewed her in New York. That is true because she was looking for a gig with Turning Point USA.
Okay, so let's be general.
Listen.
This whole Turning Point stuff is very interesting. The finances, the flights, the messages, people that they attach themselves to. And then over the weekend, you guys, go look at Kash Patel's interview. I want to say 2 or 3 months ago, Kash Patel had said that they're going to do deeper dives. They're going to get into conspiracies. And then I think I just saw in a video that Kash Patel is going to let that city handle it. Why isn't Kash Patel looking into this organization? Parents, be careful of your children going to a campus, being a part of this organization. A lot is being talked about. A lot is being said. Over the weekend, wait, baby, I'll tell y'all where to go find stuff too. My page is a little different. Over the weekend, very interesting. Wolf of Finances every month do a jaw-dropping interview, YouTube upload. Wolf of Finance did a very interesting video over the weekend. You gotta go look it up. I will tell y'all where to go find stuff. You want your jaw to drop? Alleged. This is what's being alleged. This whole Turning Point thing is interesting. The people involved, the people that work there, people are being fired. Wolf of Finance talked about possible money in regards to possible how and why and who took money before the passing or after the passing. You want to watch something jaw-dropping? Wolf of Finance. Go look it up. Wolf of Finance. Go look it up after this video. You want to get into some information about Turning Point? I think I watched almost all of it. Wolf of Finance, go look up his last 2 or 3 videos. Very interesting about Turning Point. Very interesting. I don't know why the feds are not investigating Turning Point. I don't know why they're not investigating Turning Point. But maybe we do know why. Okay. The guy from Sunset, Jason, there's another breakup. He gets the women, shorter guy, bald. He gets the women another breakup. I don't know who this one is. I kind of follow who the other one was. But yeah, there's another breakup. Gorgeous girl, another breakup. So was she a part of the team? I don't know. But he has another breakup. Okay, let's continue with the news. There's talking Rihanna in her 20s. Rihanna's still gorgeous. When you have children, they take a lot from you. When you have children, they take a lot from you. Can I show you proof? Rihanna's gorgeous. Face, eyes, bone structure. Her face card don't get declined. The next picture I'm going to show you, that might have just been a mom day. Face card here, nobody could touch Rihanna with her dances, her music, her face card. Okay, Rihanna. She's a mom now, though, y'all. Sometimes when you're a mom and you have children, your edges starts to thin. It's just the weight gain, but she'll lose it. She's still Riri. She's still Riri. She has 2 beautiful children now. 2 or 3. She has children now. She's still gorgeous. Still gorgeous. She's still gorgeous. It happens. As mothers have children, it changes your body. It changes your body. It changes your look a little bit. You're a mom. You want to get out the house. You have to run an errand. That might have just been her running an errand. That might have been her just running an errand. But then when she go out, you be seeing Riri out. This might just been a day when she was just didn't want to do, she didn't put a cap on. And they say sometimes with mothers having children, sometimes the edge is thin and it comes back. So well wishes to Rihanna. The one thing you can't say, she's not a good mom. She seems like a good mom with ASAP. They have children together. So Riri's a beautiful girl. So I did want to show you that though. Fair use reaction clip. I'm glad her face is covering her eyes and her face. Northwest has been trending. Kim has allowed her daughter to constantly be in the media. Why isn't Kim protecting North from media? North is seeking media attention, media validation. She's doing a lot to get clicks and views. She's doing a lot to be seen. Prayers go out to North. She's a beautiful girl. There's a lot going on with the Kardashians. And it's being alleged that North may have been taken out of school now. And she's being homeschooled. And we see more of this than pictures of her in books and studying. We're seeing more of the out and about. What about the homeschooling, Kim? What about the education, Kim? And it looks like North has Kim's security guard. This guy's been with the Kardashians for years. Prayers go out to North. She's a beautiful girl. We wish the Kardashians would protect her from media, but they're not. So I'm glad her hair is covering her face. I don't want to show that. Like the video. We're just doing hot topics, trending topics. Y'all see the picture. We're not going to talk with them today. Y'all see the picture. So for him to say, wasn't cool with, I don't have nothing to do with, I didn't go to that location. But what about on the other locations? People are talking about the files, y'all. A lot's going on regarding the files, and many people we talked Pam Bondi. Okay, so Vlad is trending. The Donald Trump stuff is a lot. Vlad over the weekend, Saturday night, 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, he posted something making different comments. Some are saying he was trolling. But the biggest thing is it makes you question why does Vlad want to trend again about the Tory Lanez case? Why? If y'all did not know, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I posted that Tory Lanez was trending about his music. Anytime Tory Lanez tries to trend, even though he's in jail, anytime Tory Lane tried to trend about something good, they tried and overtrend him. Anytime he tries to trend about something good, they try and overtrend him. I have the clip of what Vlad was talking about. I'm going to generally show it, but I'm not going to break it down because Vlad posted something talking about this, talking about that, exposing. Vlad said he was trolling. Why does Vlad want to troll about this type of stuff? You can generally read. I'm not going to mention it. I'm not going to say it. But this is what Vlad wanted to trend about. And this is what, and many people are saying, is he going to say that his account was hacked? He went on a podcast saying, why are people so silly? I was trolling. And then he started talking about the case again. Why did Vlad want to trend about the case again is the big question. Y'all see what is being said. I don't want to repeat it because I'm not a fan of Vlad. Vlad seems like a culture vulture. He likes to get black men on his show, and then all of a sudden they're in jail or what? I don't know. I don't know if he's a Fed. I don't know. I don't care that much. But I don't really care for culture vultures. He has interviews of some of the top musicians, and sometimes after that, 1-2 years later, they're caught up. They're caught up in this situation that's not good. Y'all see what's being said. Then he got on a live stream and he was like, I can't believe people thought I was being serious. What? Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Why are people so weird and they want to trend and go viral about stuff? So we had to generally talk. I did the video, but I put those on private because I can't confirm or deny what Vlad is saying is true or false. This is the Obamas at the All-Star game. It looks like Michelle, Barack, and their daughter sitting behind them. So this is him interviewing himself.
That lady on TV, did they find her yet? Not yet. They haven't found her yet? Who took that lady's mother? Nobody knows. Do they at least have a suspect yet? So far, they detained 5 people. Okay, well, that's something. But nobody's been arrested. After 2 weeks. Yep, but there was a pizza that was delivered to the mother's house, and yesterday, the pool guy came to clean the pool.
That was last week.
They cleaned her pool, but haven't solved her kidnapping. I don't know, maybe they're hopeful that she'll come home soon. And where's her daughter, the lady on TV? Savannah? Nobody knows. So the lady on TV is suddenly no longer on TV with her mother who's been missing for 2 weeks. Yeah, but her husband was spotted in Florida. And what about the other sister, the one that they think did it? Oh, Annie? Nobody knows.
I don't think the sister did it.
So the family's just completely gone. She's not even trying to clear her name or anything at this point. Apparently not. And what about Harvey Levin? Is he still pen pals with the kidnappers? Yep, the last email said that they were willing to bargain with the Guthrie family. They offered payment plans in exchange for info on their mother. They put that lady on layaway? Somebody needs to go get her. You're telling me. Start the video. I'm getting worried for this lady. Do you have Bitcoin? Who has Bitcoin? Nobody knows. So after 2 weeks, the sheriff has no updates, no leads, no suspects. The family's gone missing. Nobody knows where the family's at. We haven't heard from them. They're not searching for her. They're not on the TV. None of this makes any sense. It's giving cover up. Starting to give Savannah Smollett.
I can't confirm or deny if the family has anything to do with it, but people have been questioning the case, period. I told y'all he had been making videos. I'm only posting it. You can go look him up and you can look at some of his videos. Some people feel that it's right to ask questions. Some people feel some of the comments might be a little tasteless. I don't know. But there was only certain ones I wanted to show you. I showed you one. I showed you another one. Then I showed you this one. I'm not going to replay it. But this is where you can go to find it. But we get why he's doing clips the way he's doing it. He's giving a general update. He's asking what and why and how, which a lot of people should. He's asking things that reporters, sometimes we wish reporters would say or do. So that's why I'm showing you him and what he's saying. But certain ones I don't want to show. Okay, this is another thing right now. We're just doing hot topics, trending topics. Ray J over the weekend, people said allegedly something was going on, and I don't know. I don't know if this is real or fake. I can't confirm or deny. I don't know if he really had something coming from his eyes, or if he put drops in the eyes. If he had, they're saying they see something on his chest. Did he have a procedure done in regards to his chest? He did come out and speak about, see, you see something over his chest. Ray J needs to be careful. We know Ray J likes to troll too. Prayers for Ray J. Prayers for Ray J. He's giving out flowers as Valentine's Day. Um, it seems as if him and Princess Love has tried to come back together in regards to the children. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And if this is something that is happening, he shouldn't be there. He should be at the hospital. So prayers for Ray J. I'm gonna show y'all sometimes certain stuff about Ray J just to put it out there, but you see that he has something going on his chest. And I don't know if something's really dripping from his eyes. I don't know, but they're talking about it. I have to be careful what I say. I have to be careful what I say. I have to be careful what I show. Nick Cannon speaks on being around unhappy people. Nick Cannon has had a lot of children outside of marriage. And I get it. Be careful who you're around. Be careful who you give your energy to. Be around people that's loving, kind, and supportive. Do not let people drain you. You do have to be careful being around unhappy people. You do. You got to protect your peace. Barack and Michelle, All-Star Game. That's the game. Got to be careful there. But y'all know 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, the man in the office posted a picture of many people as animals, and then they were to bow down to him as he was leaving. I did do a short clip in regards to Barack responding to what the man in the office said about that. Okay, was there anything else? Prayers for Nancy. Prayers for Nancy. Some are saying it might have been alleged botched burglary. I don't recall anybody else saying anything about a botched burglary. This is something new from yesterday and today. We're just doing hot topics, trending topics. He did another clip. I'm trying to remember if I listened to this one. I think this was the one I was like, I don't know if I should play that because I don't want to seem insensitive. I get why he's asking questions. See the horrible moment, Kim. Yeah, I don't support their stuff. I don't support their stuff. These sisters are something else. If you really look at how they've insulted people and insulted the culture, it's concerning. Bianca Cesori calls to testify as a witness in Kanye West legal battles. I'm not surprised. The Kanye now, not the Kanye 15, 20 years ago. Kanye is trending, going viral about stuff. Ray J's trending, going viral about stuff. Lamar has been trending and going viral about stuff. Press go out to Kanye. And if Bianca is being called in, I'm not surprised. He said a lot. He tried to apologize, but man, what happened? Why were you know what I'm saying? Remember how he allegedly said to Chris, do you feel that you had something to do with his mental? And Chris said, yes. I want my daughter to love you. Go back and look at the documentary. I'm not interested in watching the whole documentary. I did not want to look at the whole documentary about Kanye flipping out, doing whatever. Kim said she was going to protect Kanye from the media and the kids from media. Now she wanted to do interviews. He hasn't seen his kids. Sometimes Kim is copying off Bianca. Kind of weird and creepy. Go look at what Bianca's worn over the last 2 years. Look at Kim brand deal now. Is that not alleged similar to what Bianca had been wearing for the last 2 years? She put her spin on it. But Kim is something else about Kanye. Kanye married that girl. Kanye had kids with that girl. Now Kanye have to deal with how she treats him and the kids. Well wishes to Bianca, because I'm sure she's dealing with a lot daily. She chose to marry that man too. So did Kim. Okay, let's continue. Many people have been talking about Kim and Louis dating. Why now? Good vibes, bad vibes, his choice. He was with one team. Now he's with alleged another team. Many people were like, wow, Kim almost looks like Chris. That's what they were saying. People were trying to read the lips. And like I said, that's Kendall behind them. There's no way they was gonna let Kendall be in front of them. No way. Because if she would have caught Lewis' eyes looking at Kendall dating, you got to realize too, Kendall's body's different than Kim's. What made him want Kendall, and now he's with Kim? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know any sister that dates the boyfriend. Have you really thought about that? I don't know anybody that wants to date the sister's boyfriend or or an ex. I don't know any sisters that want to touch somebody else's. There's too many men out there. But why aren't people calling this out? Why aren't people calling this out? See? Kendall's behind Kim. There ain't no way Kim would have wanted, but Kendall, look at that guy. Look at that guy. There's no way Kim would have wanted Kendall in front of her because Lewis would have been watching Kendall bet money. And then there's Haley. There's no way Kim would have wanted her in front of her because you know that man's eyes would have been look at that guy, look at that white guy in the white shirt. You know, if he dated her, he would have been looking at her. Kim knew what she was doing, even in regards to this setup. Kendall has to be behind us. Who wants to date the sister's ex? Whatever. Oh my goodness. Kim is then he sent some Valentine gifts to Nick Cannon admits he sent Valentine's today to many gifts to multiple women. Of course, he has a lot of baby mamas. Of course he did, because then they'd be mad at him if he didn't send gifts. I'm sure he did. Some of the women really think they're ones. Nick is dating several women. Okay, so Barack called out Trump in regards to the AI video.
First of all, I think it's important to recognize that the majority of the American people find this behavior deeply troubling. It is true that it gets attention.
And a distraction.
It's true that it's a distraction.
Boom.
But, as I'm traveling around the country, as you're traveling around the country, you meet people. They still believe in decency, courtesy, kindness. And there's this sort of clown show that's happening in social media and on television. And what is true is that there doesn't seem to be any shame about this among people who used to feel like you had to have some sort of decorum and a sense of propriety. First of all, I think it's important to recognize that the majority of the American people find this behavior deeply troubling. It is true that it gets attention. It's true that it's a distraction. But, as I'm traveling around the country, as you're traveling around the country, you meet people. They still believe in decency, courtesy.
So Barack is trying to be kind about his thoughts, his feelings. This interview was a really good interview. I'm not going to play the whole thing. It is one of my favorites. What's his name? Brian? Is his name Brian too? Barack Obama. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, it's Brian. Brian Cohen. Brian Cohen has an amazing show. We often play his clips. He talks politics. He talks what's going on. Brian has done an amazing job. Definitely go subscribe. This is the one thing. The man in the office did an insulting thing to an ex-president. And that everyone was disgusted about it. It's not okay. And what was done 2 weeks ago. It's disgusting. So if you're over here thinking I'm going to support that, nah. Chloe's got to be spotted with her girls. Many of us want Chloe to find a healthy relationship. We don't want to hear about Tristan. Chloe's got to be spotted with her girls. They like to use people for media, I'm telling you. He had basically stated he regrets marrying. Be careful who you marry, be careful who you date. Be careful who you marry. Be careful who you date. Some people want to be with you for what you have, and they like to trend and go viral for what you have and what you can do for them. Remember who he was married to prior to, and then he dated Portia, then married Portia, and then look what they're going through. Be careful who you marry and date. Hallie isn't letting age define. She's turning. I'm surprised. Hallie looks gorgeous at 60. At 60, Hallie looks gorgeous.
I wanted to come on, and it's been 2 weeks since our mom was taken, and I just wanted to come on and say that we still have hope, and we still believe. And I wanted to say to whoever has her or knows where she is that it's never too late. And you're not lost or alone. And it is never too late to do the right thing.
You can tell she's been crying nonstop.
And we are here. We believe. And we believe in the essential goodness of every human being. And it's never too late.
So I'm sure she wants someone to, prayers go out to the family. Drop her off at the police station. Drop her off at a hospital. It's never too late to release her back to the family. Prayers go out to Nancy that she's returned back to her family. Other people are saying different things. I can't confirm or deny. There's nothing wrong with Savannah being hopeful that her mom can be returned. But many people are questioning, where was the alarm system? Was there an alarm system? Why didn't it go off? Was the doors locked? Or did they get in from the garage? We don't know. There's a lot of things that people are asking. There's a lot that she knows that we don't know. There's a lot she knows that we don't know. A lot is going on. She looks gutted. Many people can't imagine their mom being taken away from their home at 84. 84, your mom is missing. We get gutted when children are missing. Gotta keep an eye on your children. Make sure they have something that can protect them from a weirdo trying to snatch them up. There's a lot of weirdos in the world. Praying for Nancy, praying for a safe return for her mother. Other pages are seeing different things. They can say whatever they want. My page, I try and be. And I could literally play that other guy's clips and you guys can kind of feel what he's feeling. But some of the stuff was a little insensitive. I try not to be insensitive. I try and be as sensitive to a situation, but I will kind of ask questions. What, why, how, and where, and what the heck is going on? So, yeah, something don't seem right. How the sheriff is acting doesn't seem right. How they don't want to send information to this location. They want to send it to this location. All the information is over there. The FBI has technology and abilities the sheriffs don't. There's so many concerns. There's so many delays. There's so many distractions. There's so many things we're side-eyeing. So many things. Prayers for Nancy. Could you imagine? She was taken from her home. And there was hours and hours that went by that the family didn't even know she was gone. Thanks for being here, everyone. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Prayers for the family and a safe return to the mother. Many people were talking about Savannah interviewing some of the file victims, people that are in the files. Many people are talking about that. Many people are talking about some of the interviews she's done, but nobody wants a mother taken from their home. Not at 84, not at any time. No one wants their parents taken. So there's a lot going on there. how the files came out, more information came out, then the mom was taken from the home. So a lot of people are trying to figure out how she did an interview, how she did a debate with Trump, and how she was talking to Trump. But Trump says they're sending people to hell. So there's a lot going on, y'all. There's a lot going on. Nobody wants this. The neighbors have to be concerned for their safety. We're seeing different stuff on camera. We're hearing people are being detained, but no arrest. People are being detained, but no arrest. I hope you guys have subscribed. We try and do hot topics, trending topics, put a little different spin on it, question stuff. We're not perfect. We don't have to be. I don't try to be first either. I could do videos 3, 4 times a day. I don't do that anymore. I used to, but I try and bring out whatever I can. We are trying to hit 50K, so please subscribe. This month, last month, we had millions of views. So people should be subscribing more than they do. And my page goes really fast. And I don't really want to delay. And, a lot of pages are getting ... And, so we go extremely fast. We don't go slow over here. And I'm not monotone. Well, it looks like Nancy has makeup on today. And they try and stretch the show. We've covered a lot in 3 hours. We've covered a lot. What happened the weekend? What's going on today? What people are talking about today? We talked about Michael Jordan. We talked about the Kardashians. We talked about Gigi Hadid. We talked about Savannah. We talked about the mother. We talked about a lot today. We covered a lot. I normally try and pack in a lot within a 3-hour show. Sometimes I wish I could do 1 hour and then come back on 2 hours later, do another hour. But I'd rather cover a lot. Last week, that show Tuesday, Wednesday was pack filled. We covered so much. I put that on members only. Shows last week I put on members only. This week I think I'll leave it. But we covered so much I had to put it on members only. So memberships are over there. We have a $5.99 tier. We have a $14.99 tier. So go over there, do memberships. Some of those videos were private and for members only, for sure. Had to, because I put in a lot of information to give my members. I sure did. It's this case is very interesting. This case is very interesting. It is. Thanks for being here, everyone. Have a great day. Be blessed. Goodbye. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit subscribe on the way out and continue to hit the like button on your way out. Thanks for being here, everyone. Goodbye.